Morning all. How are we all doing? Oh, move my chat. What are you doing? Morning, David. I've just had the weirdest thing. You know, my arm is obviously, my nerves trapped or whatever in my arm. I've just been into my son's room who's got 5 kilo dumbbells. And obviously because my nerve, my C6 nerve is trapped or inflamed or whatever, the signals are not getting through to the muscles in my left arm, which is what's making my left arm hurt. I just tried to lift the weights, and in my right arm, I can obviously lift the weight above my head and do all that sort of stuff. My left arm, I can't even lift my arm with the weight in it above, 90 degrees. It's the weirdest thing. Like, just the muscles are there, but the signal's not getting to it. It's really weird. Trapped nerves are very, very funny things. Anywho. Right. So let's have a look at news to start with. Not news yesterday. Morning, Andrew. Morning, Jacob. Morning, Dancers with Wolves. Left arm has quit chat. Yeah. It's really weird. It's really weird. And the weirdest thing is there's nothing they can do about it. It's just got to fix itself. But anyway. So today we've got PMIs this afternoon for services. Manufacturing PMIs came out pretty much as expected. So we'll see what happens with the services PMIs. Obviously, you get mixed results. If we get bullish result, then obviously we'll get a push. If we don't, we'll get a pump. We'll get a dump, probably. So we will see what happens. But that's the only news we've got today, and it's half an hour after market open. So we might get a bit of a contracted open in the US indices this afternoon. But other than that, that's it. Not a lot of news yesterday. It was all positive for the euro, all positive for the US. Nothing much came out of the news in the talking heads last night. Overnight news, not a huge amount. There's some news coming out of China, which will affect the Asian markets, so New Zealand and Aussie. That's really all that gets affected by those, but there's nothing that will really affect them there. Come on, why can't I scroll back? I was looking at it on my laptop and it's not loaded much on here. It was all Chinese. Okay, Aussie, 3 additional RBA hikes are possible. Okay, so not given any indication as to what they will be, but 3 hikes, assuming we carry on at the same rate as we're getting at the moment with the Aussie, we'll be looking at 0.75 increase, taking them up to 4. So potential for a 4 being the terminal rate on the Australian dollar. Wrong one. Unemployment has come down in Japan. That's bullish yen. CPI bullish. So bullish overall for the yen with their figures. The PMIs increased on the Aussie. So basically pretty much Aussie bullish overall for all the Australasian pairs. What's the yen done this morning? Not a lot. So we didn't get much movement off of that bullish yen news at all. Nothing there. Okay. 5 minutes to the open. Morning, Big Papa. Morning, John. So that's all the news covered. And as I say, nothing until today, until there. This week's been a little bit of a weird week. When you look at the charts longer term, let's look at the hourly and zoom out. It's easier. So looking at Monday there, for example. So we haven't really gone anywhere this week. We've had a fairly volatile week with quite a few pairs, but there's not actually an awful lot. Aussie New Zealand's moved a little bit, but there's not an awful lot really that's moved when you look at it. Yeah, there's the open. That's where we are at the minute. So we've had a pretty much sideways week. If you look at the weekly charts, looking at, though this looks like it's, wow, look at the size of this. Actually, when you look at it what we've actually done is we've moved down less than 1 ADR. So although we've had a fairly decent amount of movement this week, directional wise, if you're trading H4 time frame, you're not really getting a lot of movement this week. There's the open, look, Monday. That's where we are. Yeah, so that's the movement this week. Yes, we've had a big move, but we haven't gone anywhere. So intraday, intra-week again, ADRs had a massive result. RSI extensions on the hourly, massive result. 4 hourly, very good as well. So for mean reversion trading this week, if you haven't made money, you're doing it wrong. You can't lose money in mean reversion when you're doing this. It's just too easy. So it's good, but no real indication of trend direction. When you're looking at the buyer scorecard and what we're expecting things to do, nothing's really gone anywhere this week. So everything's kind of, yes, it's a big sell on the Aussie New Zealand. That's actually the only one that's really moved, isn't it? Everything else is kind of sideways. So a bit of a funny week this week. But it has been a bit of a funny week for news. We've had the CPI, that's why we've had the movement on the Aussie. But apart from that, there's not really been any impacted figures come out this week. So next week is the biggie. We've got the unemployment rate for the US and obviously FOMC. So, oh no, we haven't got FOMC. No, there is no FOMC next week. So we've got the unemployment rates. We've got the CAD interest rates, and we've got the Australian interest rates. We've got the Swiss CPI. So next week's the big one. We'll get some decent movement next week. Right, the DAX. I've got the DAX set up this morning to trade the pre-market, the 5-minute and the 15-minute open. So I've decided to put a mixed set file on these now in the live room so that we can actually see each of the ranges, just so you can see what each one's doing. Yesterday was a lovely day on the DAX. Made $2,000 on this. Sorry, not on the DAX, on the NASDAQ. Made $2,000 on the NASDAQ yesterday afternoon. So we opened. We had that horrible sideways movement, and then we flew. After I went off air, we went for it, and I got out basically at a TP, which was unusual. So yeah, really nice move. The 15-minute ORB just slammed it yesterday. It's really good. DAX today. We had an update yesterday. We filled the gap. We got the gap fill done, which we were expecting. It took a while, but it got there, so that was good. Opened up today pretty much where we ended. So see where we go. No real idea. Afternoon, Peter. Morning, even. Afternoon, depending where you are. Right, that's it. ADRs, nothing so far this morning. Morning, Michael. Nothing today at the moment on the ADRs. RSIs, totally flat as a pancake, except for New Zealand dollar yen. So we'll wait for the open, and then we'll have a quick look at multiple pairs. We'll look at the buyer scorecard. We'll have a look through the sentiment and just see what's occurring. If you got any pairs you want to look at, shout them out, and I'll have a look at them after the open. We've got 25 seconds to the open. The Fidelcrest account that I started, minus 511. Why is that? Blimey, I've had a stop loss hit on the Swiss yen. That'll teach me. I tried a really tight. I was getting greedy. I was nearly passing, so I tried a really tight entry. Didn't work. Right, so there's your pre-market open. Your pre-market 15, very nice break this morning. There you go, TP hit, done. $1,500, whatever. Yeah. Bang. Thank you. Well done. Anybody on that? Jesus. Oof. Give us. I can't even measure it. It's moving so fast. You had a 10 pip stop. You've got 27. 3-1. Thank you very much. Very nice. So that's your pre-market 15 open, and there's your wad of cash. Right, so where are we going? We're running straight up into propulsion. This one's been tested, that one hasn't. Let's have a quick look at where we are. So that's possibly got sellers in it. That's an accumulation at the high, which was a break. So anybody that shorted this from Wednesday, if they are still in, may well defend that area there. If not, we're coming up to take the liquidity from Wednesday, which is the high of the week, basically. So there's Monday, there's Wednesday. So pretty much this is the high of the week, depending on which one you want to use. It's obviously Monday is the legitimate one, but that's pretty much the double top. Jesus, look at this thing go. I'm not running the pre-market today. This is the thing with this EA and each set file. If you're running the pre-market opening range breakout today, you have just paid your mortgage for the next quarter. I didn't run it today. I'm running the 5, 10, 15. Good luck getting a break of the 5. This isn't going to work today, is it? It's not the day to run the 5, 10, 15 at all. What is going on with this one today? Busy, busy, busy. Right, so what I would expect now is probably a 30-minute retracement back down to here. And then later on this afternoon, maybe have a think about going long. I got in over leveraged with a 10 pip stop loss. Nice one. Me too, 5, 10, 15, Jacob, yeah. Oh, I turned it off yesterday. Literally, I turned it off yesterday. The pre-market. Oh. This is the thing. Yeah. This is why you have to run the set. When you're running a set file, you just have to run it every day and take it. Yeah, this thing's made about 4.5K loss over the last week. So I thought, okay, I'll turn it off for a bit. Conditions aren't right. I don't know what that was today, but I'm running a 10R TP, right? So I'm looking for 100 points. That's 65. So for my entry, that's 6.5 grand in one candle. Yeah. Because I take 2 entries there. On days you just want to go and cry. Today is one of them. Gutted. Never mind. Anyway, I missed it. I'll post it out on social in a minute because that is a bloody good example of why the pre-market works so well and why it's so profitable. Except you've got to run it every day because you don't know which day it's coming, do you? Today. Right, I've got a line drawn there. Why have I got a line drawn there? Don't know. But that is that high there. And obviously we've got high of the week. So we're running into Tuesday's high at the moment. And then we've got high of the week. What? Not quite sure why. Turkish CPI's come down dramatically. Look, 3.15 of 3.494. Jesus, look at that. Month-on-month inflation in Turkey, 6.65, forecast 3.49, actual 3.15. They've halved inflation in a month. How's that work? Wow, okay. Bizarre. Anyway, sorry, I'm just looking at another platform. I've got another trade running on another one. Right, so, yeah, there's your 5-minute opening range. Right, so there's your 5-minute opening range. So I'm just turning off the EA on. Oh, Okay. So I've just disabled the opening range EA on my other account on the VPS. It's too big. I'm not going to trade that. It may well go, and if it goes absolutely fine, that's an 80-point open at the cash balance at the open, which is absolutely huge. Have a look at what we did yesterday. Look at this. This is a 15-minute candle from yesterday, right? 73 on 15 minutes. We've just done more than that, 78 on a 5-minute candle. Look at what happened straight after that was put in. Yeah, market exhaustion. Yeah, you can't rally from that very easily unless there is something going on that we don't know about, which there may be, but I would suspect now what we're going to see is just inside bars. So as an opening range, this is probably something you might want to take later, but at the open, I think that's a bit brave to take that, especially as the only distance you've got is 30 points up to the weekly high, and at the weekly high you're likely to see limit orders trigger. So you literally have got a 30-point move and your risk is 78. So it's just a negative risk reward trade. It's not really worth taking. But if you got the pre-market, well done. You are minted. Pre-market looks so quiet. Yeah. Yeah, you can never tell. That's the thing. You just can never tell. Things are very expensive in Turkey. Yeah, well, it's coming down. So finally live. Caught an absolute rip at the start. Nice one. You got in pre-market. Yeah, cool. Nice one, Outro. I'm crying at the moment. The reason I'm crying is because it's on a funded account. I've got it running. And the reason I turned it off was because it's done 4.5K loss in the last week, which isn't bad. It's not the end of the world. But I thought I'll turn it off because obviously it's I've got 12K loss of liability on the account. And I didn't want to. I just wanted to basically change strategy on it. If I hadn't have changed strategy on it this morning, I don't know what that would have been, to be honest. That would have been $1,500 there. So that is no, calculator's not working. That candle is $5,000. All my loss from the week just gone in one 5-minute candle. Oh, never mind. So let's concentrate on my tiddly little 10K account, shall we? Did 3.6% yesterday on this one. This is the Fiddle Crest. So I've got 4 positions open at the moment. Euro Swiss is about to stop out as well. This isn't going to be my day today, is it? This is going to be one of those days today. So my stop is sitting behind propulsion and behind support. The fact that the DAX has done that, the euro is obviously coming down. So you'll find the euro dropping at the moment because the DAX is pumping. So all the euro pairs will be coming down, which is great because I've got one short on the euro. So I've got half a chance of winning something, haven't I? Because it's a wild Friday. All Fridays are wild. You know who we're going to see entering now, don't you? Mr. Wick. I did a new one, yeah? This is a new one I've done. Look at his hand. Isn't it weird? This AI-generated imagery has a problem with hands, look. There's kind of no thumb there, which is fine. But look at the knuckles on it. That's not right, is it? It has a problem with hands. I noticed on the other ones as well. Like, it's only got 3 fingers there. And this one, look at the hand here. Look at the hands. So I'm going to zoom in on it. Yeah. Look, AI has a problem with hands. That's not a hand, is it? That's John Wick after he's had his hand put through a blender or something. It's not right. Poor old John. Poor old John. Anyway, so this is my new John Wick. I really like him. He's very John Wick looking. But anyway, I think you'll find John Wick will enter the building now because the market is going to be a little bit. What the hell do we do now with that? Which way are we going? So, speculative traders will be starting to enter the market now. Normally, like looking to target and buy the highs and lows. I suspect we are going to pull all the way back down to here, or potentially down to here. So this is yesterday's high, which we've just suddenly smashed through. So either we're going to pull back to there and we're going to run for the highs, in which case then you want to be buying in this propulsion gap. Or this is a false breakout. Think of where we are and look at a daily chart and look at what's happening. This is potentially a false breakout and we're going to pull back inside. Yeah. Yesterday we rejected. Remember what I said yesterday when we were trading? Yesterday we pushed down, we pulled back up. I said what we're going to do is we're going to come up and we're going to hit that gap, which we did, and then we went further. So we've actually put a very nice bullish day in yesterday, but we've done that before. Then we went inside bar, then we went outside bar. Now we've gone bear bar. Now we're potentially going bull bar. Yeah, there is no directional bias whatsoever in the DAX at the minute. So you just have to go with money and formulate a plan. So the plan would be either you're going to become a buyer today and you're going to buy out of there, or you're going to assume this is a false breakout and you're going to sell now with a stop up there, and hopefully we'll go down and we'll basically try and challenge either yesterday's open, or if you're thinking we're rolling over, we'll be looking to target yesterday's low. But that's a hell of a way away, isn't it? But looking at the size of the open, it's certainly got the power today, isn't it? So we'll see. Very confusing one this morning. You missed it. If you weren't in it pre-market, you missed it. What if we were getting a short too? What, a short opening range break? Yeah, I mean, yeah, leave it. You've got the pending order sitting there, obviously, at the moment. So the problem is, obviously, your stop loss is going to be there. So when we actually get down to there, if it triggers that, you've only got a 10 pip pullback. And depending on how quickly it gets there, if you're extended when you trigger that, very likely you're going to pull back and trigger. If you've got on the opening range breakout this morning, yeah, if you've got on that, I would cancel that pending and turn the EA off. Don't give back 500 or $1,000 or whatever you've got set, just because that's greedy. The market's paid you. Take it, walk away, go do something else. You're done for the day. Right. That's untradeable today, really, unless, yeah, I mean, it's not untradeable, but you need to wait and see what's happening. There's absolutely no way of telling where that's going at the moment. So let's have a look at everything else for the minute. The weeklies we covered yesterday, they've all played out, all these weeklies, so there's no point in looking at any of those. Nothing's hit the monthlies yet, obviously. We're on the 3rd of the month. If it had hit the monthlies, I'd be very worried, but we haven't. RSIs, we've only got 2 to look at. New Zealand dollar yen, extended on the 4 hour. We were extended on, was that Tuesday or Monday? Sorry, Tuesday or yesterday we got extended. Tuesday, late Tuesday. So we did get extended late Tuesday. All we're doing at the moment is potentially putting in an end pattern reversal for a sell. So looks good. Bias, a sentiment rather, is long at the moment. But yeah, I like it, potentially for a pullback from here. The yen pairs have all been very weak. They are all starting to push back today. So we've got a good possibility of a pushback today on the yen. We've had decent news overnight coming out of Japan. So the CPI's gone up. Unemployment has come down. So it's all kind of decent news for Japan. So we might find we get some yen strength today. Oh gosh, bleh. Losses. Don't like losses. I'm just going to quickly look at the yens. was just going to see if there's any propulsion gaps to the downside on the ends to aim for, but there isn't any. New Zealand yen, but that's already been tested. Whoops. No, it's at 45.25. Might have gotten a short there. So I'm going to look for a breakout of yesterday's low, basically. Stop above propulsion there. And TP down here somewhere. 0.23. US dollar yen is a good one as well. So if you're going to take any US trades, obviously you need to be aware at 3 o'clock this afternoon we've got the PMIs. So anything you enter on the US now, 50-50 is whether it's going up or down today. So yes, 25 to the upside, 61 down. Do I want to short the US dollar? No, I'm going to leave that. So I'm going to just do those 3 today and that pending. I've also got a pending order. No, all my pendings are triggered. Yeah, so we'll see how we get on with those. So I need basically 2% out of this lot. I'm risking 0.5% per entry, so I've got 2% risk on. Potential reward is somewhere between 3 to 5% if they move today. Obviously, if they don't move, I'm not going to make any money. But see if we can pass that today. Right. So New Zealand dollar yen, the only other thing we've got is the Aussie New Zealand. So that one has, that's an hourly extension to the upside. So looking for shorts on this. Sentiment is short as well. We've got a propulsion area. That's a good trade that. I like that. So Aussie New Zealand short. So looking at the, obviously Aussie New Zealand, we know that we're looking for pullbacks on this. Yeah, so we're looking for a continuation short. The Aussie New Zealand is a huge sell at the moment. Cop bias, retail sentiment, fundamentals, all pointing down on that. So looking for sells. Obviously, it's been coming down very nicely for the last couple of weeks. So we've got an hourly RSI extension to the upside. So potentially looking for shorts on this. We've got a propulsion gap that we're trading into now at resistance. We've got another resistance sitting up there as well. We've got this propulsion gap up here, however, on that break that hasn't been tested yet. So it's either going to be that or it's going to be that. So there's a potential entry there. If that doesn't play out, if we get an ADR hit to the upside today, going to need to be 150 ADR. That would be the entry. So if you're going to position trade this, you can get into it now on the next reversal alert. So drop down to M5. Yeah. And take the next reversal alert short, which is just about to happen, which will be basically breaking down that propulsion there. That's actually a bigger propulsion gap on the 15-minute chart. So if you look at the 15, it's that. Actually, probably the hourly is, to be honest, is the best to look at on this. So that's the accumulation. That's the break. So that's really the best entry. So anywhere here is a good short. I might take this as well on the Feudal Crest account. So pending order under there. Obviously, normally I'd take a reversal alert, but I'm just going to put a pending in on this one. So stop above propulsion. TP back down there. So that'd be 0.48 short. Let me put a pending order in, please. So stop. There we go. I'll have a go at that. So basically that in effect is going to be a reversal alert on 5 minute. So I shall jump in when that breaks. If it doesn't break, obviously, I will reevaluate. So if we push up further, I will get in the propulsion gap on the hourly, somewhere in here. So what I'll do is I'll trail that. So if we continue to push up into here, I will trail this up under candle lows on the hourly chart. So basically when we get a break of the low on the hourly chart, that will have given me an M5 reversal alert. So it's the same thing basically. I entered short on Aussie New Zealand based on retail sentiment. Yeah, retail sentiment is short on that. It's one of the best, it's probably the best sell out there at the moment. Oh, we should look at combined. Oh, no, let's just look at retail. So those are your top buys and sells at the moment. Aussie New Zealand is one of the top. We've got 87% of the market are long on that at the moment. CAD Swiss, 89% long. Pound New Zealand, 85% long. So I've got Aussie New Zealand. The sentiment EA has taken one, as you can see. The sentiment EA took one here, which piled down nicely yesterday. So it's taken 2 additionals as well. Took one yesterday in here, and it took another one this morning down there somewhere. Don't know where it's taken them exactly, but yeah. So it's working nicely, the sentiment EA. It's obviously it's not making any money. It's just literally I'm testing order triggers to make sure it's working, make sure it's triggering properly, which it is, which is good. So yeah, so that's a good Aussie New Zealand. David, I must know, what is the black box on your bringing up? This is basically a little indicator called Money Manager Graphic Tool. It's in the files section in the Telegram group. If you go into the Telegram group and look in the files section and just search for money_manager, or just search for manager, you'll find it. It's an indicator. So when you put it on the chart, all you do is you set up what you'd like to use as your default stop loss, your default percentage risk, and that's pretty much it. Leave everything else. Just set up what your default stop loss and percentage risk is. And then all you do is whenever you want to go short, you hit S on your keyboard and it brings the box up and it places a line for a stop loss, an entry, and a TP. And then you adjust these basically as you want them to be. Yeah. And it will auto calculate and tell you what lot size to use. It will tell you what your risk reward is. You can hit these buttons here to say I want a 2-to-1, 3-to-1, or a 4-to-1 reward. You can hit that button and it will automatically follow price. So you can say I want to get in now at market, and you can say I want my stop up there, I want my TP here, and it will tell you what your risk reward is, all that sort of stuff. You can increase your risk. So I'm using 0.5%. You can hit this button and say I want to use 0.6 or 1%, and it will adjust your lot size accordingly. So it's a really handy little, sorry, the lot size is here, like 0.32. If you adjust that, it will say use a 0.57, 0.63. It's a really handy little tool. This is what I used to use before I developed the EA, and obviously now I don't need to do any of this because the EA does it all for me. But yeah, so, but you're not allowed to use EAs on Fidelcrest, which is why I'm using that. Because I can't use an EA because they'll tell me off. Targeting retail traders stop loss on the Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, so well, the Aussie New Zealand, they've just taken the stops today. Or they're taking yesterday's. It's really hard to tell. Obviously, Aussie New Zealand, everybody's long. So I'm expecting them to come down and take the liquidity down here. But as you can see, this broker candle this morning actually took all the liquidity. So it's a little worrying that they've already done that. But we'll see. Why is that showing us near the stop loss on the euro pound? Did I protect that? I might have protected that. Yeah, I put a break-even stop. So this euro pound, I've put a break-even stop on it. I just don't like the price action. Yesterday, we had a whipsaw yesterday. So they've cleared the decks. I'm not sure which way they're going today. So I've just put a protective stop on that. I think we're targeting this, but what I don't like is the way we've had a nice big rally. We shot up on Wednesday. Yesterday, we went absolutely nowhere. So what I'm worried about is basically a flag break today. So although I think this is going to get tested, 100%, this is going to get tested, I'm not sure it's going to get tested today. I think we may push away and come back here next week. So the short I've put on it, I've just protected it this morning. As you can see, during Asia, as you would expect, it's euro pound. So obviously during Asia, the European don't move very long. I've just protected it. So it's either going to come down and it's going to do the propulsion gap test today, or it's going to accumulate or break to the upside. So I will be out if it does attempt to do that. That's the only reason I'm getting out on that one. Anywho, DAX. We are attempting, so if you have taken the 5, 10, 15, that is your 5 and your 15, obviously. You're long. So we haven't tested this propulsion gap yet, though. So I think with a 90% certainty, we're coming down at some point shortly. So I'd be very careful if you're taking anything off of this today. I'd be more inclined to short it at the moment than long it. And for long, you hit L, B. No, you hit B. Sorry. It says in there, actually, when you put the EA on, look, if you go into the inputs, the indicator, yeah. Key to create a buy is B. Key to create a sell is S. You can change this. So it's buy and sell. You could change it to L and S if you want, long and short. You could change that to L. But it's B and S. So B. There we go. Now I've got my buy. And it puts it in weird places sometimes, so you have to kind of go and find it. But if you hit that button, that's what I always do, just follow price. I hit the follow price button. Anyway. Right. So looking at the buyer scorecard, these are our longs and shorts at the minute. We'll have a whiz through these. Christian, do you trade the US 30? Yes, I do. Yeah. Obviously, I trade the US 30 when it's open, not in Globex, though. So that'll be this afternoon. So these are our top buys and sells at the moment. Aussie dollar New Zealand is the big sell at the minute. And as you can see, that thing's been coming down like an absolute steam train. I'm looking for sells on this, looking for sell entries on pullbacks. So in here, RSI is extended on the hourly at the moment. So there's one of two things going to happen, depending on what the strength of movement is on this. We're either looking at this as a move and we are going to have a pullback somewhere into here and then a drop. Or we're looking at this as a move from this week, and in which case then this is the 38. So this is your shallow pullback area. And then the second propulsion is in the 61.79 area on fib for a pullback from there. We've also got this area here, which is obviously ties in perfectly with the 71.9 retracement. But yeah, anywhere in here in this grey section, I think we've got potential for a pullback. So position trading wise, you know, the strength of the move on this Aussie New Zealand at the moment, this 1 hour extension could quite possibly be it. But it's really easy to scale into entry 1, entry 2, somewhere in here when you get a reversal alert. Entry 3 would be the double top. If we get back to the double top, that's a 50% retracement on the initial move. So it's pretty easy to position trade this short. I just don't know whether this strength that we've had is continuable. We will find out, obviously, in the next couple of days. But morning, Seymour. So yeah, Aussie New Zealand, good for shorts. Obviously, we've got a 1 hour RSI extension on that at the moment. There's no extensions anywhere else at present. The pound New Zealand is another good short opportunity, looking for entries on that. So at the minute, we've had obviously the drop. 2 days, unbelievable, our ADRs. So we got a 270 off of a 185, and then we had another one which was a 310 off of a 185. So huge movements to the downside. We got very extended on the 4 hour. Obviously, we got up to we've broken out long look. We got up to the 80 twice, and obviously every pullback worked. That one was much bigger. So we've actually broken the low, which is 2 days straight down. And then we're just in accumulation at the moment. So potentially that one will drop, but I would be very surprised if we do not get a pullback on this before the next leg down. So this is a pretty good mean reversion opportunity. We didn't quite get the 4 hour extension on it. We did get the hourly, obviously we got embedded, but all that's happened is we got a little bit of a pullback and now we're kind of hovering. So as I said yesterday, the danger when you get an RSI extension and you get into a trade on a reversal alert on M5 or M15, which you would have had in there, if after a couple of days you haven't gone anywhere, think about getting out or at least protecting the trade, or maybe putting a stop loss in there. Because if this thing's dropped that fast and that hard and the market is not ready to take profit on it, they know something we don't, and this thing is going to come down for a second leg, and the second leg could well be just as aggressive as that. We could be looking at the start of a squeeze. Yeah, squeezes tend to start, when the squeezes start, they start with a very sharp, volatile move designed to trap traders so that you can't get out, and then they'll do that and they'll trap you more, and then you'll be like, right, okay, we're in this and we're in trouble, and then they'll just squeeze you. So just be very careful with it. If you're going to try and mean revert it, I'm looking for shorts back in that propulsion gap. If we were to get back up there, obviously that would be beautiful, but I can't see them managing to get there with the pound. The pound is not strong enough at the moment to do that. We would either need to have a massively weak New Zealand dollar, i.e. we'd need a news catalyst to come out about the New Zealand dollar saying that there's something wrong, or we're going to need something really dramatic coming out from the pound to say that the pound is absolutely awesome. So when you have a look at the news we've got next week that could potentially affect this, there's no pound news at all until we get to our GDP next Friday, and there's no New Zealand dollar news at all. So we've got an entire run of a week until we're going to get any news that could possibly affect the pound positively. The pound GDP is not doing very well at the moment. So we had a miss last time. When we do get a positive, it's slight. When we get a negative, it tends to be like 0.3s, 0.4s. When we get a positive, it's 0.1s, 0.2s. So I just can't see anything positive about the pound's economy, interest rates. There's just nothing positive. Inflation is the highest in the world. You know, there's just literally nothing. When you look at that retail, the key fundamentals for the pound, there is nothing in there positive at all. Yeah, there's nothing to say that this should go up. We've got very high interest rates making us pretty attractive. We're the third most attractive currency to invest in. It's coming down. Yeah, we've put it up by equal highest in the world. It's coming down. Our inflation is higher than everything. That's negative. Our inflation is coming down very, very slowly. That's negative. Our GDP is flat. We're going into recession. That's negative. Our unemployment figures are not coming down. Negative. Everything is negative about the pound. There's no reason to buy it at all. So the fact that this has been rising against New Zealand has been like, what the hell? And that's why we've got this elevator shaft, yeah? Yeah, this is not good. When you see the market going that way on something that is so bad fundamentally, you know you've got the elevator shaft coming at some point. So you do. This is the steam train that everybody's trying to get in front of now, and everyone will get run over. So it's where it's going to get back to. That's where I'd love to get in, and I'd be happy to scale in on it. If we get back to there by any miracle, then brilliant. I will hold it as long as I possibly can. I held that. It's lovely. But we'll see. So pound New Zealand, really, really good sell. Aussie dollar, US dollar, and pound US dollar, equally good. So looking at the pound US dollar, because we're talking about the pound, absolutely no reason to buy this. Since we had the FOMC and unemployment for the US, structure shift to the downside, we're starting a downward channel. Once we break that low, I think we're off. So again, this afternoon, PMI figures are coming out. If we get positive US news, that's coming down. So I'll be looking for entry short on that one. Any hourly RSI extensions, any ADR hits to the upside for any reason. If we get negative news on the US dollar this afternoon, PMIs, short. The other one was the Aussie, wasn't it? Aussie US. So again, Aussie not doing well at the moment. Looking for entries short on this one. It's pushing up at the moment. If we get an RSI extension on the hourly, really nice, simple support resistance bounce there. So in theory, we should be looking for a lower high and then a lower low, coming back down to retest this area. At the moment, we're just kind of stuck in a flag. So short. If you look at this on a bigger picture, it's a bit of a weird flag, isn't it? But so be looking for shorts on that one. Market structures all over the place. We're in an ascending wedge at the moment, which is a very difficult pattern to trade because when you're stuck in an ascending wedge, targets and potential bounce points just get further and further away. So they're not very nice. So not the best thing in the world at the moment. It's not set up. So I would just take RSI extensions on it. DAX is struggling at the highs. If we break that low, I would say we've got a target to the short side there. Euro US dollar and Euro New Zealand are the other sells. There's no bias on the euro against either of these. New Zealand dollar is a long, US dollar is a long, euro is a long from a COT perspective. So therefore we've got no bias. They cancel each other out. We have got retail all long on the euro at the moment. So it's currently a sell. However, overall it's bullish. So these are tricky. Euro US dollar especially is quite tricky at the moment. If you look on the higher time frame, we are obviously, because of FOMC and unemployment in the US, everything has got bearish against the US dollar. However, the US dollar is at the moment having a little bit of a weak spell. So again, PMIs this afternoon could well change that. So we're looking for short entries on it. You haven't had one on the 4 hour since we had the FOMC announcement. And on the hourly, you've only had the one entry, which was there. Actually, no, you had one there on the 70. So you would have got that entry 1, entry 2, exit. And then you've got obviously entry here and exit. So if we get any more RSI extensions to the upside, I would just keep shorting it. These drops will become bigger. You can see it's getting bigger. Small retracement, bigger retracement, bigger retracement, drop. Yeah. So when the market structure breaks and we get a new lower low put in, we'll start the next leg down. Where are we going to start the next leg down? Very difficult to say. There's an awful lot of support resistance areas because this is a bullish currency against a bullish currency. You're not going to get the elevator shaft, that strong move. There's going to be a lot of market structure, a lot of price action going on. So every time you get any exhaustion levels, get ready for the profit take moves on them. So just shorts whenever we can get them, really. Longs, obviously, we got US dollar CAD. Someone's just asked about that. What's your opinion on US dollar CAD? Yeah, long. So this is the best long at the moment. So fundamentals are long US against the CAD. cot bias at the moment, as far as we know, is a long. Retail are all short, so we want to be going long. So everything's a long on this one. As you can see, it's going up. So 4 hour, any RSI extensions to the downside. There's not been any signals on this since sort of mid-January on the 4 hour RSI. It's obviously with the trouble with the US dollar CAD, which is the same as the Aussie New Zealand and the Euro Swiss, is they are very, very strong trade partners, and the employment and the GDP, the outputs, the PMIs, they all affect both currencies because they have an awful lot of cross-border trade, which is why you tend to see these an awful lot going sideways unless there is one serious fundamental difference that outweighs the other. Oil prices obviously affect the CAD as well, and oil prices at the moment are incredibly stable. So there's no advantage to be had from that perspective on the CAD either. So I would be looking for longs at the minute. Any RSI extensions to the downside, which we are on right now. We're just about to get an RSI extension to the downside when this hourly candle closes. Yeah, so that's going to be an RSI hit. You're going to get an alert on that shortly. So yeah, potential for getting in longs here. But obviously you are getting in a few hours ahead of PMI figures. So, you know, what's going to happen with PMI this afternoon is going to affect what's going to happen with the US dollar. So whatever you do now, 3 o'clock this afternoon, it's either going to go beautifully your way or you're going to go into drawdown on it. So if you go into drawdown, you can see where you're going to go. You're going to go 150 ADR or potentially 100 ADR. But 150, that's going to get tested at some point. So if we get negative PMIs this afternoon, it's a really easy retest for them. And then potentially we can look for longs out of that. You'll be nicely extended on the hourly. You may even get extended on the 4 hourly if we get negative PMIs. It's going to take quite a lot. You're going to need a big old 4 hour candle to get down there. But yeah, so there's your target to the downside. But I'd be looking for longs. So drop down. Thanks for the follow, Caltago. No, Cat Lego. Cat Lego. Cat Lego Mithy. There's some weird names, isn't there? On I'm not saying you're weird. I'm just saying there's some weird names out there on YouTube. People have these pseudonyms, don't they? That there's obviously some of them that you have to be in the club to know what they mean. Thanks for the follow, anyway. So looking for reverse alerts. So M5 or M15 reverse alerts on this one. Potentially now. It might be a bit early though. I'd be worried about this propulsion gap. And you're kind of taking a trade in the middle of nowhere. We've got this support here. This is a really nice support resistance area. So this is actually a pretty good H1M5 entry. There's three things that are going to happen on the US dollar CAD that I can see from here. We're either going to get the support bounce and pull back up into the range. We're in a 5-day range. Yeah. So we're either going to do that or we're going to break support and come and test that level there. Or we're going to come and do that propulsion gap. PMI figures this afternoon are going to decide. So I suspect what we'll probably do for the next hour is that, or next 4 hours, is just sit sideways and see what happens. We just had the Italian PMI come out as expected. 0.2 higher actually, but it's not particularly dramatic change. Bullish though, so we might get a little bit more of a drop on the DAX. It's only the Italians though, so it's not actually that important. Not saying Italians aren't important, just saying it's not the biggest economy in the world for the euro, is it? So no real impact. So US dollar CAD, Euro Swiss. So again, Euro Swiss, strong trade partners. Potentially good looking long opportunities on this one. The hourly RSI extension you're just about to get. So watch your RSI dashboards if you've got them. You're going to get some more alerts popping up here. Only single level on the 70, not anything extreme. But we are getting some more extensions coming in now. So Euro Swiss, we're sitting in a propulsion gap here, which is a break of that high. that accumulation, which is a break of that resistance. So this is potentially where we might find some buyers coming in. Sentiment is long. We've got lovely propulsion gap targets to the upside to target as well. We have got this big propulsion gap down here where we broke that high and retested. This candle actually didn't get that high. It broke the bodies, but it didn't break the wick. So it's tested. So I'm not sure we're actually going to get the strength to get down here. We have had a really weak Swiss franc, though. If you look at all the Swissy pairs, over the last sort of week, we've had a pretty weak Swiss franc. So we've got a potential for a fairly strong move coming on the Swissy. It may have already started by the looks of things, but so there is potential more downside for this. But hourly, we are extended, so I'll be looking for some kind of mean reversion. But I think we could possibly go further down. So we'll see. It's either going to hold up here, isn't it, or it's not. This is the beauty of position trading. I don't care. If you get in here and it doesn't work, get in there, then get out. Yeah, so just take the trades. They're either going to work out and pan out for you or they're not. But that one looks good, Euro Swiss. It's definitely a long. COT, sentiment, and fundamentals all bullish. New Zealand dollar CAD is another opportunity long. Again, we've got this nice propulsion gap down here. We've got sentiment on side. This is already tested twice, and we've bought out of it twice. So the third time we buy it out of it, I quite often will find we'll break it. So again, Canadian dollar this afternoon, PMI figures could well wipe that out. If it does, that is a lovely propulsion gap break that has not been tested yet, a 150 ADR. So if we get strong PMI figures on the US dollar this afternoon, I would expect CAD, New Zealand dollar CAD to come down, obviously, because we'll get CAD strength along with the US strength quite most of the time. So we get a push down. If we can get a push down to ADR, that would be a nice area to start scaling into a long, waiting for that profit take, because by the time we get down there, we'll be very extended on the hourly. We'll also be extended on the ADR, which means we've got a profit take coming. So, however, this could hold up as well. So we will see. Support rectangles also here as well because of the speed of that movement. So we might find we get buyers out of this accumulation. They're not letting that go, are they? There. So we'll see. But that's long. So looking for long opportunities on that New Zealand CAD. I'm not going to cover the yens. Euro pound. Because I just don't know. The yen at the moment is a bit of a myth. So euro pound is a long. Everything against the pound is a long. This is erratic at the moment. 54 ADR. The thing that worries me about the euro pound at the moment is this. The fact that we haven't come and tested this. I'm not sure that we're going to be honest, because the pound is going to need to be strong. The euro is strong, but the pound has been erratic, and so is the euro over the last couple of months, which is why we've had this sideways movement. So I'd be looking to buy out of here. You can see every propulsion gap that we've had off of every news event so far is just being tested beautifully, and that is how it usually works 99% of the time. So any movement back down into here, I would be looking to buy it, but I'm worried about this. It's a really good level for a test. I just can't see how fundamentally we're going to get the strength on the pound to drive it down here. We need a 350% ADR move to get there. It's just going to be impossible unless something dramatic happens on the pound, or Lagarde comes out and says we've decided not to increase the interest rates on the euro or something like that. You know, there's just nothing. It's not going to happen, is it? So I'd be looking for buys on it. So RSI extensions to the downside on the hourly. Yeah, pop. You can see I've taken some buys on this. Pop. So just wait. Be patient for us to get down there. If we get an ADR hit to the downside, RSI hit to the downside, 4 hour, you'll be lucky, I think. But, you know, or 4 hour, whatever you want to take. But hourly's definitely. So if we get down into this propulsion gap here, that is exactly where I would look for the bounce. But if we can get somewhere down in there, I'll be looking for longs. And then obviously just drop down to M5, wait for your reversal alert long. You're just about to get one long actually now, because we're just in an accumulation, aren't we? You see, we've been in an accumulation for ages. But retail sentiment at the moment is a long on this as well. Well, they're short, so you want to be going long. US dollar Swiss, New Zealand Swiss. Was it US dollar Swiss? Yeah, US dollar Swiss and New Zealand Swiss are the other two longs we've got. Let's look at US dollar Swiss. So US dollar Swiss, again, it's a long. The US dollar Swiss is one of those pairs I hate just because of the speed of movement. The reason this is so erratic and so volatile is because you've got two massively volatile instruments. The US is the world's currency, and every single news event in the world affects the US dollar, because whatever happens with any news event, they always pull money out of the US or push money into the US when that news event comes, because they use the US for transactions. The Swiss franc is erratic in the fact that when you get a lot of money moving around the world, it tends to go through the Swiss National Bank at some point, which pumps and dumps the Swissy. For apparently no reason, it just goes mental. So you get these huge swings on the US dollar Swiss. And whenever I've got into my worst ever squeezes, this is always the puppy that does it. So just got to be careful with it. It's bullish at the moment, but at any point, the Swiss franc could just go, nah. So you've got to be careful with it. But I would look for RSI extensions to the downside on the 4-hour, RSI extensions to the downside on the hourly. Make sure you've got a reason to get in, though. If you get extended down here, make sure you are at a support or at a propulsion gap where it makes sense to get in. Don't just get in because the RSI is extended. Get in when you're at a level that makes logical sense. And then pick the areas where we're potentially going to pop next. Plenty of them to the downside. This is what worries me about this one. And a lot of these US pairs at the moment, we've got these huge propulsion gaps to the downside because we've had a really strong US dollar, which is now waning. And you can see how weak the Swiss franc has been. You know, when I was saying the Swiss franc's been weak this week, we've had a weak US dollar, but it's been stronger than the Swiss franc. So it shows you how weak that Swiss franc's been looking at this pair. But down here, I'll be looking for a long. If that doesn't work, we've got that high there. It's only been tested. That's just a peak. We don't know if that's going to act as support yet because we haven't revisited it yet. But potentially that is a second entry, 1, 2, and then somewhere in these propulsion gaps for your third. If that we get negative news on the US and these don't hold up, somewhere in here you're going to get some support. But very difficult to pick one, isn't it? So it's a long. Everything is going for it long. So I'll be looking for buys on it when we get any extensions. And New Zealand dollar Swiss is the other long as well, which is there. So New Zealand dollar Swiss, we'll be looking for that high. There's no propulsion gaps to target apart from this one here. So I would not be interested until that's filled. It's a long, but that's going to get filled at some point. At least tested, but it could be next week. You know, we could suddenly go long from here and they'll come back and do this next week. Yeah, it's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Yeah, it doesn't have to happen straight away. These propulsion gaps, they take ages to fill sometimes, but the bigger they are, the more likely they are to get hit. So obviously, as you can see, it's on its way there at the moment. It is a buy sentiment wise. However, it's very, very extended. Yeah, if you look at the 4-hour, yeah, it's a short. So we're looking for a pullback on this move. So that's where I'd be looking to start getting in long on it. So there's all your pairs. Dancers Walls, what EMAs are you using? These are the 24 and 72 on the daily. I don't really pay much attention to EMAs, to be honest. Gold. So I'll ask you, Mohammed, gold. What do you think is going to happen with the PMI figures this afternoon? There's your answer. It's a cross. It's a US dollar cross. So if the US dollar gets positive PMI, it's coming down. If the US dollar gets negative PMI, it's going up. But it's going to happen at 3 o'clock this afternoon. So what you do right now, regardless of what time frame you're looking at, in the London session, you're going to go something like that. But then this afternoon, it's going to break out the London session ranges. I have no idea. But overall, it's a short, isn't it, at the minute? That's been tested once. That is, I think, going to be so basically this is FOMC. This is the unemployment figures. And this is all the positive news we've had since then. I think we will be hard pressed to get there. We've tested it once. I think we'll be hard pushed to get there. We may do. We're going to need some negative US dollar news to get up there, though, aren't we? So depends what happens this afternoon, really. DAX is managing to make a breakout. Look, it's not very convincing, is it? But it is. So yeah, be careful if you are long on that. I don't think you're going to get very far today, especially after that. That's where the money was made this morning. It's gone. But this might trend all day, you know. You never know. We might have a nice big day trend going in. But look at where we're going. So that's our previous control candle high. This is potentially the new control candle high. So it's all within ADR today. We can test ADR quite happily and stay within this range. Yeah, ADR to ADR. That's all we're doing. Look at this. I mean, it's absolutely perfect, isn't it? You couldn't make it any clearer. There's ADR low, there's ADR high. There's your range high, there's your range low. Yeah, they are staying within an average daily range. So when you get to ADR, short it. When you get to ADR short, long it. Buy the dip, sell the pop. Really easy. Okay, that's it. Selling up and leaving the UK. Yeah. Especially coming April when they take away our subsidies for energy. As if I'm paying £430 a month for my energy at the moment. Not looking forward to April because that's subsidized. So yeah. If US dollar CAD or US dollar Swiss is already 100% ADR before the new SU's release, and then we have negative PMIs, what's your opinion on price action? So if you're in US dollar Swiss and we're at ADR, do you mean ADR low? Yeah. So if we're at ADR low and we get positive, we'll get a move down and we'll get a 200 ADR move. With ADR, yeah, when I did the research, I think I cover this in the video about ADR on YouTube, but with ADR, yeah, obviously that's 100% ADR. And then I go up to 225% ADR because when you get beyond that, it's literally 2% of the time it gets beyond that level. When you get to ADR, if you've got there and there's no news event, basically all that means is we've had a strong push and we're likely to get a profit take move. It's just normal price action. So it's the banks manipulating and then profit taking. Yeah. So ADRs which are hit gradually will quite often have a lovely profit take. ADRs that are hit quickly based on news will quite often have a profit take and a pullback as well, but then they will quite often continue to make a bigger ADR. If you get a 200% ADR, for example, on a news event, it's quite often because what's happening is they're leaking some news, somebody knows something, they're weakening because they know the PMI figures are coming out as negative. So if we get to ADR and we get that negative figure, that thing's just going to hit 200 ADR, isn't it? However, look at the sentiment on something like US dollar Swiss. And that will give you a clue as to where they could potentially be going with it. So US dollar Swiss at the moment, it's 50-50. US dollar CAD's a better one. Look. US dollar CAD, let's look at that one. So 71% of the market is short the US dollar CAD at the moment. So what they're doing, is 71% of the market is short. So they've gone short. Their stop's up here. It's pulled back, hasn't taken them out, and it's gone short. That's enticed more people to go short. They've put in a double bottom, pushed up, pulled back, pulled back, pulled back, broken the low. Breakout traders have all gone short. Where's their stop? There. So every piece of liquidity on the US dollar CAD at the moment is sitting at those three levels, right? They're driving price down today really hard. What's that doing? Enticing everybody to go short on the US dollar CAD. Where's all the liquidity going to be sitting from today? Of the Asian high. So we've now got 4 levels of liquidity sitting in the market. Might have some in there as well. Yeah, and they're driving this thing down. If we get positive PMI figures today, you'll get a probably 150 ADR hit. Potentially. That lot will all just get liquidated. However, it could be that it's not a trap, and it could be that the market knows there is negative PMI figures coming, so they're selling off ahead of time, in which case all the retail traders are milking it and making money, and they're going to make even more. Well done to retail traders. Retail sentiment has nothing, becomes totally irrelevant when there's news events. It doesn't matter how these guys are positioned when the news comes out. If the news comes out and the market wants to move in a direction because the news means that they can make money because they're expecting positive movement in the future, they'll go with retail. It doesn't matter, does it? They don't need liquidity to move the market in the way they want. If we get negative figures, meaning that the market does not want to have investment in the US dollar moving forward, they will sell off, and they will just keep selling off, and they will sell off and sell off and sell off at whatever price they can get hold of, because they don't want to be in it. They won't push it up there to find liquidity to move, because that doesn't make sense. So, it doesn't really matter on news whether you're at ADR or not. However, if you are at ADR, you know that you've got an awful lot of people short. And if it is a trap, you're going to get the mother of all moves, like the DAX. You're going to get one of those. Yeah, and this is why a lot of people, when they like to trade the news, but what they do is, you get an accumulation all day, and then they take a news trade, and what happens is there's liquidity sitting there and there. So what happens is you get a news spike like that, and it takes them out, and they go, oh, news trading doesn't work. If you'd have done that, if you wait for something that looks like that before news, you've got really obvious levels of liquidity where you can put a stop loss and assume that you're going to get that. It's a 50-50 shot. Whenever the news comes out, you've got a 50-50 shot of it going like that or like that. It's actually a 33% shot, because it can go like that, or it can just not have an impact at all. But if it has no impact at all, you're probably going to have an opportunity to get out of that trade regardless, yeah? So I would say probably the 50-50 rule is more likely, isn't it? But at the end of the day, you can't tell, can you? If you could tell, if I knew the answer to that question, Big Papa, I would be a millionaire, wouldn't I? I've no idea where it's going. But right now, US dollar CAD is extended on the 15-minute. We look at who's entering the building right now. Mr. Wig. Yeah. We're running out of sellers. Buyers are taking control. RSI is extended. So everybody that's been selling like crazy throughout Asia is now thinking, oh, hang on a minute, our P&L keeps getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Probably time to get out, boys. Become buyers. The buyers will see John Wick entering the building and a bull candle going in. They will become buyers. They will enter, and then we'll get the profit take move started, which will come back up into this area where the sellers started selling and adding to their positions. And then when we get back to there, if there's enough of these guys still sitting in there, we'll drive back down again. And we'll keep doing that until the news comes out at 3 o'clock. News at 1:30, non-farm payroll. Not today, next week. Non-farm payroll's not today, it's next week, next Friday. Go and watch. First thing you do every morning, Christian. Yeah. And the first thing I do in here every morning. What's the first thing I do in here every morning? Go over the calendar. What's coming up today? Where am I going to make my money today? Yeah. This is every trader. If you don't look at this every morning as a trader, you're flying blind. You might as well be driving a plane with blacked out windows that you can't see out of. Yeah. You take a trade right now on the US dollar because of fundamentals, this is going to change it this afternoon. Liking the new Wick pick, yeah. Mr. Wick. Mr. Wick. Mr. Wick. I still like this one. I still think this is good. Just because of his deformed dogs. And who is this bloke? I've never seen him in a John Wick film. He's probably one of the guys that has been killed, isn't he? He's one of the enemies. And John Wick's just about to pull a gun out and go... But that is a good one. I just like the likeness of John Wick on that one. These are a bit more cartoony. That's a pretty good likeness. But I can't work out what he's got in his hand here. It almost looks like a pair of glasses or something. But then he's got this weird finger, look. It's like he's got this weird finger thing going on. He's holding something, isn't he? But I don't know what it is. But he's thinking, I've just taken a long on the US dollar. We've got news at 3. Should I be in this? Am I going to get a gold coin? Anyway, John Wick. He's entered the building on the US Dollar CAD. So, why does everybody keep asking that? Is non-farm payroll today? No. God, people, use the calendar. Is non-farm payroll today? Friday the 3rd of March? No, it's not. It's next Friday. Non-farm employment change. Nick, you're new in here. People that ask questions like that once are okay. If you ask that question again, it's a stupid question. There is no such thing as a stupid question until you've asked the same question twice. So you get let off the first time. But if ever you want to know anything, there's this thing called Google. And you can type in it, you can type things like, is NFP today? Yeah. The non-farm payroll report represents blah, 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 blah. And it'll tell you. Yeah. So if ever you've got any questions, this Google thing always answers. Or you could use OpenAI. Yeah. That's the other thing you could use. That's a pretty good one. Yeah. Is non-farm payroll today? Let's ask OpenAI. February the 5th, 2021. That's the most recent report. It's usually the first Friday of each month at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Should I go long or short on US dollar today? This is not a question that can be answered without more information about your trading strategy. Okay. I flip a coin. The chance of getting heads is 50%. It knows how to trade. It knows the odds every time you hit the button. Wow, OpenAI. It's going to take over the world. It's surprising you got such a good result from a small prompt. Spikes. Probably his signal Diviner. Yeah, this is John Wick's signal diviner. That's his long or short divining rods. DAX. If you have gone long on the 15-minute or the 5-minute opening range today, I'd just protect it. You're not going anywhere. If you didn't get the pre-market today, you've missed it and have to wait till this afternoon. Why is non-farm payroll not today, though? It's supposed to be the first Friday of every month. It's the first Friday of every month unless it falls on the March at the end of February, because we've got less days, less trading days in February. That's all. It's just to keep the statistics at a fairly even distance, reporting-wise, that's all. Nothing complex. It's next week. February is a short month. Yeah. It just says on Google that NFP is the first Friday of every month, apparently. Yeah. So basically what you need to do, right, forget anything else. There's no reason to not know what's going on when you've got Forex Factory Calendar, right? Everything you need to know about the financial markets and everything that's going to affect it is on there. If not, go and use Financial Juice. They have a calendar as well. But their calendar is more what's going on today rather than what's going on this week. So that's the first thing you look at. Every morning, the first thing I do is this opens up on my desktop, and the first thing I go is, right, when are we moving today and what are we moving on? Yeah. If you're not looking at this, how can you possibly make any decisions? Yeah. Should I trade the Swiss franc today? No. Why? Because the CPI figures are coming out on Monday and the entire fundamentals for the Swiss franc are likely to change. So any trade I take today, if I'm not out of it today, it's a 50-50 shot in the blind on Monday. Yeah, you've got to know this stuff. You've got to know what's moving and when. Aussie dollar. If I'm in any Aussie dollar trades on Monday that are in profit, I need to bank them because I need to break even or bank, because Tuesday it's all going to go mental. Right, that's all I've got for you today. Unless there's anything else anybody wants to look at. ADR reversals, EA, 16%. Done 8% this week, look. 8% banked this week, sitting in 0.64 drawdown with the ADR reversals. They have been absolutely amazing this week. 4-hour RSI extensions banked 3.4% this week. H1 RSI extensions banked 5% this week. Total drawdown at the moment is sitting in the region of what? 2.2% with 16% banked. Just shows you how wiggly this week's been. Off topic. If I submit my strategy for coding, do I receive the MQL4 code? What, to me, you mean? No. You get... I'm not doing... So you're talking about my my got a strategy, need it coded page, yeah? So no, the idea behind this is it's a win-win situation for you and for me, right? So what you get is an EA coded, and you get to do all of that. Yeah. And you get to pay somewhere between $50 to $100 to have me code it for you, which is nothing. Yeah. Average EA cost will cost you $500 to $2,500 if you go to a coder. Right. So I'm coding something for virtually nothing for you. What I get out of it is it goes on the MQL5 marketplace so I can sell it. So you buy it from there. So it's a win-win for both of us. If you want the code, the source code, I will code it for you. But hourly rate, you know, I'm not going to do anything for less than $500 to $1,000. If you want me to take out 2 to 3 days of my life, it's not going to be cheap. if you want to get an EA coded yourself and have the source code, I mean, you don't need the source code, Seymour, unless you really want it for any reason. If you're going to make a commercial product out of it, then yes, you would need to do that. But then you're going to need to hire a coder and have it done properly. I say not properly, when I do it properly, but that's the idea behind this, is just to help people verify their strategies. What my initial thoughts were with this page was, right, is you've got an idea for a strategy. I probably get 10 a week DM'd to me. I've got this amazing strategy. I've seen this. I'm doing this. This is amazing. I'm using the market reversal alert CA to do this. I'm making an absolute fortune. And then all of a sudden I never hear from these people again. So they're either going off and becoming millionaires, or, which I suspect is, what backtesting they've done is not substantial enough and their strategy fails. So the idea behind this page was, if you've got a strategy, let me code it for you into an EA so that you can go and verify it's got a long-term edge, test it on different instruments and timeframes, and do robustness testing. Yeah. And do it all quickly. What this page is going to do for most people is they're going to spend $50 and realize that it's crap. That's the idea, so that it helps people backtest things. If we find a gem, fantastic. But in my experience, it's the same as people that start to trade. 95% of them use a strategy that fails because they backtest it for 3 months and go, this is amazing. And then the next 3 months is nothing to like the last 3 months, and they lose a fortune. 99% of backtesting profit goes like that. Yeah. And then in live testing, it does that. And the reason is because it's curve fit to a specific period of time and a specific market condition. That market condition changes and that happens. So the idea of this page was to help quickly build an EA based on a strategy so you can verify it. You know, and if you find an absolute gem, yeah, let's go into business together and we'll do loads of adverts like they do and we'll make a fortune out of selling EAs. It's really hard to make a fortune out of selling EAs, trust me. I know. But I don't really promote it. So, do you trade a funded account? Yes. What was the ADR reversal portfolio performance for February? I don't know. I haven't started taking every trade for February, but it was good. It's always good. I'll tell you what, Big Papa, if you want to know the answer to that question, you can find it out yourself. Stick the market reversal alert CA into the strategy tester, select February as the time period, load the set file, press the button, and get the result. And you will see exactly what the portfolio performance for February was. You'll have to do it on every pair, obviously. But you can do that in a strategy tester. Can I ask why we got a glimpse of the indices at 8 AM? A pimp on the indices. I've no idea. No idea. Pump. Yeah, I don't know. No idea. Order execution, basically. So yeah, this is what I mean by the initial cash balance. This is the initial cash balance going in. Today, there was just a lot of stock purchases. So what it may be is that we got a big pump on the DAX, some of the DAX stocks. So let's have a look. Yeah, look, I mean, it's green across the board. So this is the DAX. These are all the stocks in the DAX, right? Go away. So look, it's all green. So basically, it's just at the open, there was a massive sector purchase on all DAX related stocks. No news, nothing special. It's just happens to be today they bought the crap out of everything in the DAX. Green across the board. But unfortunately, they've shot their load this morning, so to speak. It's going to be, it's very hard to buy it after a pump like that. because you are out of buyers. Yeah, they've done their stop purchases for the day. So when you're looking to buy anything, you need the institutions behind you. If the institutions have already bought, it's hard to take along because there's no one left to back you up. This is why we use these propulsion gaps. It shows you where the institutions have entered. When we come back and test these institutions will add to their positions, which is why we use the propulsion gaps. Yeah, look at that one there. Bought it again, bang. But when you've had such a big movement, you have to ask yourself, is there anybody left? And what will likely happen is when these guys suddenly go, right, that's it, we're out of cash, or this stock is now overvalued, we don't want to buy it anymore, you'll get the mother of all profit takes on it. And it will come down, literally you'll get one black candle like that. And it will undo 50% of that move, which is the profit take. So, it's just hard to buy it up there. It's extended. So I want to be able to mess with the signal calculation slightly. Seymour, yeah, so you can do that. It's an input. Whatever you give me, whenever I build any EA, yeah, wrong one. Where's my thing gone? Yeah, whenever I build any EA, whatever you send me as your indicators that you're using in there, every input possible will be an input in the EA. Yeah, my EAs, yeah? My EAs are bloody complicated. Not complicated, but that you can change everything. So every input you would ever want to tweak will be tweakable, because the whole purpose of building an EA for you is so that you can do a system parameter permutation test and robustness test it, back test it to death. So you will have every input you want. So you don't need the source code because you can adjust everything in here. Therefore, there is no need for the source code because unless you're a coder, it's useless to you anyway, the source code, isn't it? I can't have 3 versions geared for different rules, one for prop challenger. Yeah, so there will be inputs, yeah? So you send me your thing, yeah, and go, look, it's all in here, look. Your risk, your entry methods, your stop loss, your break-evens, how you want that work, how your profit targets are going to work. So you say you've got 3 different versions. What are they? How are you the 3 versions set up? Tell me. They will all be set as inputs. So you'll be able to backtest the crap out of it. Have you watched ICT at all? Yes. Why is everybody so obsessed with ICT? Dumb money concepts. I know all about dumb money concepts. I have it running on FTMO challenge at the moment. So you've already got an EA. Or you're manually trading it, are you? And it's stayed within the rules and it's currently running at 13% gain with challenge due to finish next Tuesday. 13% gain? You've passed already, surely. That could be its downfall, though. Well, yeah, we can test that. John, what's the best way to DM you for building an EA? On the website. Don't DM me. Fill out this form. I'm not taking DMs. DMs are too complicated, and I have to ask a lot of questions. Every question I need answered is here. I need to know all of this, which you can fill out in this form, or you can attach a file with all of that information in it and tell me whether you want it for MP4 or MP5. And tell me that you're not a robot. Tell me that you're not an EA. So yeah, fill this out. And when I get these forms through, first thing I do is I look at them and go, nah, that's not going to work because. Or I'll go, right, fine, and I'll do it. Or I'm going to look at it and go, that's too complicated. That's going to take me 6 weeks. You need a proper coder for this. I don't do coding, basically. I'm not a coder. My job is not coding, but I have a EA built, which the sentiment is built on, yeah, called Basics. So I've built this EA called Basics. And the Basics EA has all of these inputs as standard, And then what the basic EA allows me to do is attach strategy conditions to it very quickly so that I can backtest any strategy. So as long as your strategy is based on standard indicators or indicators you can supply the source code for, and it has set rules for TPs, stop losses, however you want to do that, and it has entry conditions and exit conditions, I can code an EA probably within an hour and have it up and running for backtesting. That's the purpose of that page. Because people go, I've got this amazing this strategy for gold. It uses the ADX, the RSI, and the blah, blah, blah. And I can basically go, right, ADX, RSI, blah, 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 put it in there. Inputs for each of those indicators go to inputs in the EA and compile it, and it's done. And it's literally that quick. So that's what it's designed for. If you come to me and say, I've got this strategy, it's got 16 indicators, and there's 7 different variations of the strategy, I'm just going to say, yeah, no problem. I can code that for you, but it's going to be £6,500 because it's going to take me 2 weeks to build it. And in which case you're going to go, sod off, I'm not paying that. And it won't get built. Or if you go and find another coder. But I don't want to be a coder. I don't want to. That's not what this is for. This page. This is to kind of, because I keep getting people DM me all the time. Literally, Mark DM'd me. I don't know if he's in here. Mark might be in here because he's in here quite a lot. But he DM'd me with his gold strategy. He's not given me the basics of it, but uses the VOS predictor, the Ehlers band pass, and a correlation filter. I can probably build an EA very quickly for that sort of thing. But I get DMs like that all the time in Telegram with people who've got strategies, or they send me videos of YouTube strategies. And it's like, I can't sit down for an hour and watch a YouTube video. Just email me via the form, what are the conditions? And I'll build it. But I can't sit and watch a video and then note it down and then come back, because it takes 2 hours of my life. I would charge my time out at $150 an hour. Yeah. If I've got to watch a video and build something, it's going to cost me $300 in time that I could be sitting here making money with. So you can get cheap coders for like $10 an hour on Freelancer and stuff if you want something built. Quality will vary a lot, obviously. My stuff's good. Do you have a video on optimization of MT4 EAs? No, but there's some on YouTube you can probably find. I was going to ask what was your opinion on ICT. I don't have an opinion on it. It's overcomplicated stuff, and it's all recycled stuff from other people. Nothing wrong with it. It's very good. He's a very good teacher. I don't know if he's a good trader or not because he's never traded live, that I've seen. Lots of people love the concepts and seem to think they can make lots of money out of them. So go use them if they work. If it works for you, basically use it, is my thesis. Everybody's got a different view of the market, and everybody can make different money in different ways in the market. If you find something that works for you, do it. I tried to study ICT. I ended up falling asleep because I found the material hard going personally. I think that's probably because a lot of it I already knew in a different format. So, but there's nothing wrong with it at all. You know, it's very, very popular, obviously. Every day someone comes in and asks something about ICT. You know, everybody comes in and goes, oh, you're using the fair value gap. No, I'm not. I'm using the wide range bar. ICT found the wide range bar and called it something different. It's not anything new, this indicator's been around for 20 years. It's not, you know, it's all the same stuff is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Everybody that teaches the same stuff in a different way and makes it new. DAX is dropping like a stone. Well, it's starting to. So we've got a bearish engulfing. We've just had the PMI figures for the UK, which are slightly above expectation. So we've just basically taken out half an hour's worth of price action there. You know, I just don't think you're going to make any progress today. Let's have a quick look at what the pound's doing. So that was the services PMI figures, 53.5 on a forecast of 53.3. So slightly bullish pound, but as you can see, not that interested, is it? I want to pass prop and continue trading that way. Yeah, do it. if it's working, Seymour, do it. I am position trading manually on demos, simulating a 50k prop firm. This is the second week, 4% gain, max daily drawdown was around 2.5%. Yeah, cool. Oh, that's me. I'm Mark. Oh, right, Seymour. Yeah, there you go. So this is what confuses me. Everybody's got a different name everywhere. Some people, like on Telegram, DMing me with the name Mark, and then there's Seymour in here, Seymour Minges in here, and then someone contacts me on MQL5 Marketplace. They've got a different name on there. It's like I've no idea who anybody is. People that use the same name everywhere, I understand. But I'm the same. I've got different names on different places. You know, it's just because you sign up to things with different usernames, don't you? You don't realize what you're going to be called when you sign up with the username. So, but yeah, that's that strategy hopefully is going to work perfectly, Mark. I don't know what this Voss predictive in filter is. You know, it's one of those I've never heard of. The Voss predictor. Can't spell it, but you know, I haven't come across every indicator in the world. So if it's working, it's working. But it is just an oscillator. So it's, you know, there's an awful lot of indicators that look like that, including the stochastic and the MACD, obviously. So you just have to make sure that the Voss predictor is giving you something different. Whenever I find a new indicator, what I tend to do is I stick it on the chart with a load of other indicators and look at what it shows. And if it shows something different, it's worth investigating. If you stick something on a chart and you see that it's very similar to the stochastics set to, I mean, this is a Voss 23. If you have the stochastics and you set the stochastics to 23 and you find it's very similar, it's probably just a slight variation on the algorithm used to create stochastics. So you have to be careful. Everything that comes in MT4 is a unique indicator. So everything you see in here is its own thing, yeah? They're all different. But when you put them on a chart, like all the oscillators, for example, you put them all on a chart, like ATR and Bear's power and Bull's power and stuff. You put them all on a chart with the CCI and the MACD, you find they're all telling you something very, very similar. Yeah. So when you look at like the hourly, for example, you know, when price comes down, the RSI comes down. Yeah. That switches down, that switches down, that comes down, and that comes down. Yeah. They all come down. When you look at something and it's like, that doesn't do the same thing, that's worth investigating. Funnily enough, it's the ATR indicator, which was what ADR is based on. Different, you see? When you get something, if you put the Voss predictor on and it does the same thing as all of these, there's no point in using it. You might as well use one of these because these are tried and tested and proven indicators. The Voss predictor won't do anything different. But if you put it on and it does something different, or it gives you a signal a little bit earlier with default settings, then it's worth investigating, definitely. They all are. But you just got to be careful. You end up in this rabbit hole, yeah? And that's, you know, what the video is all about on the website, you know, the system hopping video. That one. The reason we system hop is because we find an indicator that is different and we go down a rabbit hole for weeks and we think we've got something and then it goes, nah. And you end up going back and you choose a different one and you do the process. Then you go back and you choose a different one and you go back and you choose a different one. And you keep doing this with indicators, looking for the holy grail. And you suddenly realize that it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. You don't suddenly realize, that's the problem. You realize 4 years later, it doesn't exist. And you're like, just wasted 4 years. And that's hopefully what people finding the bootcamp will not go through or will stop. I'm trying to break that cycle of people using different indicators. That cycle can be broken very easily Watch the boot camp. You will break it. You'll stop doing it. And all of a sudden you'll make money. Yeah. Look at these accounts. Look at these accounts. 5% profit, 6% profit, 16% profit. This is the boot camp. It's using one indicator. You don't need, and it's not the indicator. I don't make money because of the indicator. I make money because of the way I trade. That's the difference. You've got to just extract yourself from the system hopping and reprogram yourself into the way of trading. The banks trade like this. They don't trade in the way that everybody's trying to make work with all these things. It just doesn't happen. But you've got to have a reason to get in, and you've got to have an indicator. So if you like the VOS and you think the VOS is yours, use it. It's just, I use the RSI. People don't like the RSI. They don't use it. It's fine. Use something else. But trade in the way that I trade. Don't trade the way that the retail does. His voice bores me, Christian. Yeah. That's the only problem with ICT. He's got good content. I just don't think it's particularly well executed from a education point of view. I'm a programmer. I'm not an educator. My videos aren't particularly high quality because I'm not a media personality and I'm not an influencer. I'm a programmer that's taught himself to trade and I trade, or has been taught to trade. So a lot of people that are in this industry aren't educators, so they will be boring. It's not a very interesting subject, is it? Really, let's face it. You need to wait until the relative strength index is in over the top of there, because what will happen is the banks will then start to take profit on their moves. It's not very interesting. It's a bit like going to a finance course at university or doing it something like that. It's not, it's not. Learning to become a pilot, probably quite exciting. This isn't. It's hard to make it exciting, which is why I talk crap in here. Well, because we basically look at what's happened, right? Since I came on air this morning, what's happened? Bugger all. We've had one move where I missed it. Yeah, you've got to do something else while this is. We're waiting now for 3 o'clock. Nothing's happening until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So now we've got to sit around all day. We might as well talk bollocks, haven't we? There's nothing else to do. RSI. We've got a couple more alerts to look at. Euro Swiss. These are the ones I said we were going to alert. I've already covered them. I said these are going to alert. There we go. It's alerted. Euro Swiss is a long. Take it. US Dollar CAD is a long. Take it. There you go. Job done. I have a different name in Telegram too, Big Papa. Yeah, everybody has. I can't even say your name. DHHRRUUU. I'm a beginner. Where can I start my trading journey? Babypips.com. Chibu. Suddenly seen you've subscribed. Welcome aboard. Babypips.com is where you start. And you go to the Learn Forex tab and you go through these courses. Yeah, it's a massive course. The School of Pipsology. It's huge. It looks small, but when you actually get into it, it's absolutely, every section is massive. It will teach you everything you need to know about Forex trading, how to do it, about the markets, the whole lot. You'll never make money with anything they give you in there. It's all a load of crap. But you need to know it, because everything I say to you, you won't understand it if you haven't gone through that. When I say the RSI is extended, you won't have a clue what that is unless you've gone through the Pipsology course. Seymour, it's very similar to others, but 3 I've used together work out market cycles and give a good likelihood of entry. Don't be fooled by the predictive name. No. It's I don't have a problem with systems. Yeah, I've got a video on here which explains, what a system is. A system has got multiple moving parts. There it is. Look, what is a trading system? Let's break it down. So there's 5, as far as I'm concerned, there's 5 parts in a system. Yeah. It's me going on about indicators. Keep it simple, stupid. So you need a signal indicator to tell you. Let's go to the summary and stop going through all the crap, shall we? Oh God, this is where I haven't got a summary page. I thought I had a summary with all 5 of them on there. Oh, that's not a very good video, is it? See what I mean? I'm not a video maker. Anyway, there's four parts to a strategy, basically 5 parts to a strategy. You got to have a signal condition, a signal indicator, and a condition indicator. Those are your basics. You've got to have those. You want confluence. You got to have a profit target and a stop. You don't have to have a stop, obviously, but we renamed it, didn't we, yesterday? We renamed the stop loss to the stop profit. So whenever you put a stop loss, let's see how my trades are getting on. So whenever you put that in the market, yeah, TP, whether you call it a TP or an SL, basically it's a stop profit, isn't it? So when I hit there, I'm going to get out of my trade and it's going to continue down to there and it's going to stop me making a profit. If it pushes back up to there and gets me out at break even, it's going to stop me making a profit when the market does that. Yeah, so that's one thing. I'm going to make a new video on that, the stop profit. Every trade must have a stop profit. Well, you shouldn't have a stop profit. I've been in that hole, Christian. Yeah, so you're talking about system hopping, yeah. Do the bootcamp. If you haven't done the bootcamp, yeah, it's all on the website. It's all free. Just, if you don't like it, fine. Watch it. And if you don't like it, fine. Don't use it. But virtually everybody that's watched the bootcamp all the way through, if they can stomach my voice for 5 days, it's not 5 days, it's like 10 hours or whatever it is, gets a light bulb moment. You'll either get 1 light bulb moment, 5 light bulb moments, or it'll be like, Christ, that's what I was looking for. If you get 1 light bulb moment out of it, job done. If you take one thing away that you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize that. I had somebody the other day in Telegram DM'd me and said, I've just watched your bootcamp. I never knew there was a difference between trend trading and mean reversion. Heard the terminology thrown around. It's all over. You go and do the Baby Pips course. They'll teach you about mean reversion and trend trading, but didn't realize that you can have mean reversion trades in a trend. You know, stupid things like that, that you just suddenly go, ah. So when I was looking at that strategy, when he was talking about that, that's what he meant. Because other people may put things across in different ways and they don't explain stuff. So, you know, if you get 1 aha moment out of watching all this lot, elastic band theory, if you're going to get 1 aha moment, that's it. Yeah, this video, day 2, is the one that everybody gets the biggest aha moments about. And then they move on to that and go, aha. So you go, aha, aha. Right. Watch, watch, watch. Done. What a lot of people do, though, is they watch that and then they jump straight to that and miss out all of this. Yeah. So they go, yeah, that sounds like a good concept. Tell us your strategies. Same with ICT. Someone was talking about ICT earlier, right? He's got these things called, what are the secret strategies called for ICT? He gives them a name. I can't remember what they are. Charter members, isn't it? Charter member strategies or something. To become a charter member or get hold of these charter member strategies, you've got to do ICT for 12 months. You've got to subscribe to him for 12 months or something, I think, isn't it? There's some weird thing with his course where he releases it monthly. Although obviously everybody just downloads it off the internet. But, you know, it's one of those things. Everybody wants his magic strategies. But unless you watch all of his video content, you won't get his magic strategies. You won't understand why. You've got to understand the mechanics behind the strategy. You can't just, when an arrow pings on a chart, take a trade, because you've got to understand why the arrow's pinged. That's what everybody misses. And that's what the bootcamp teaches you if you watch all 5. If you go from number 1 to number 5, you won't have a clue why you're executing in number 5. Have you looked at Renko? Yeah. So Renko's great. I call them baby candles because they basically are the baby candles. They're your, I I can't understand candlestick price action, therefore I'm just going to use blocks. They're like Duplo. You've got Duplo blocks. Yeah. And then you progress to Lego. Sorry, no, that's not right. And then you progress to, what are those ones called that are a cross between Renko and have got a wick? Can't remember what they're called, but there's another candle in between, isn't there? And then you progress to Meccano. So you go from Duplo to Lego to Meccano. Sorry, Lee, was late this morning, Johannes. I'm long Euro CAD. I suppose you did it. Euro CAD. I don't think I did do Euro CAD. Euro CAD's tricky. So it is a slight buy at the moment, mainly based off of COT. Fundamentals are equal. So we've got long Euro, short CAD COT at the moment, although that is obviously out of date. So these two are both very, very strong at the moment, as you can see. That's why we're going sideways. So I would personally, at the moment, be looking for longs on it. But you could take shorts on it as well. There's no real advantage either way. So, you know, if you look at the RSI extensions, for example, yeah, it doesn't matter which you take. Yeah, if you take an RSI long, you're fine. If you take an RSI short, you're fine. RSI short, you're fine. RSI long, you're fine. RSI short, you're fine. There's strength in the euro and there's strength in the CAD off the back of the US dollar. So you just take, it's a mean reversion gold mine at the moment. There's no bias. So take whatever you want. It's range bound. Yeah. So up to you, long or short. But I'd either take an H4 or an H1. So at the moment, it's a long look. Out of that propulsion, it's probably going to head to that. And then it will find limit orders triggering at ADR. So you could either buy it and assume they're going to profit take on PMIs this afternoon. Potentially, if we get weak PMI, you're going to get a profit take move on it. Otherwise, you'll need to scale in down to there or there. But ultimately, the squeeze could take you down 200 to ADR. But if you're going down to ADR, you're only going to be in sort of 3 or 4 positions anyway before it pulls back. So it's not an issue. Either way on that one. Global trading, stumbled across your live, been here for like 2 minutes. Everything you're saying is facts. Finally, someone agrees with me. Seen as you're waiting till 3. If you want, you can check out 3 of my trades. Nah. That's nonsense. 3 of your trades. Pound Swiss and pound yen sells. Absolutely no reason why you've got in short. I can't help you with that. Basically, you're right. Yes, you should be selling the pound. I wouldn't long the New Zealand US, though. Where do you live in the UK? I went to school in Guildford. Not with someone with your name. That wasn't me. No, it's not me. I'm not in Guildford. I'm not rich enough to be in Guildford. No, I live in Sussex. The solution to profitable trading is don't use a stop loss. Exactly. Where do you think Vinny... What do you think of Vinny E-Mini and his algo box? Hi, Kanashi candles. That's the one I was looking for. Corvex, thank you. So yeah, baby pips. So you go from Duplo blocks. Yeah. And then you progress to high Kanashi. And then you progress to Meccano. I've never heard of Vinny E-Mini and his algo box. No idea. Sorry, I can't comment on that one. What was the website you use as Confluence? What was that website you use as a Confluence? I don't know. I don't know what website I was on. Investing.com? You mean my website? This is my website. If this is what you're talking about, the fundamentals. So this is my website, basically. If you go to the fundamental section, that gives you everything you need to know about fundamentals. I always work top down on 3 timeframes, which we know is a good. What time frame do you pull the trigger? So I always get in on M5 or M15 on all my entries. So the EA is running always, as you see, on M5 on everything. So at the moment I use M5 for everything, but I teach M15 depending on what your higher time frame is. So obviously the way I teach on the website is only H4 M15 or H1 M5. Or if you're trading ADR, that's always M5. So it depends on if you're going top down 3 time frames, that's fine. But all I would say is if you're using 3 time frames, probably the daily, an intermediate time frame, and an entry time frame, you are adding an extra level of complication into your analysis. And the danger in using 3 time frames with multi-time frame analysis that I found when I've done the same thing, is you get analysis paralysis. So you will go, daily is a buy, and you'll drop down to the hourly, and you'll go, hourly is a sell, no trades today. Whereas if you'd gone, daily is a buy, M5 looks like it's ready for a profit take, I'll go long, you're in. So what you tend to find is if you're using multiple time frames, they all tell you something very different. Hourly looks bearish, 4 hourly and daily look bullish. 15-minute, difficult, you're in the middle of a range. You see what I mean? The danger with multi-time frame analysis is paralysis, which means you never get into anything. So if you only use 2, you've always got, right, I'm trading in that direction, where's my entry? Which is exactly what I teach. So H4, entry on M15. So right now there is an entry on US dollar CAD because we've got an RSI extension to the downside on the hourly. So we drop down to M5 and we wait for the reversal alert to go long. Simple. 2 rules. Easy entry. And that's exactly what the EA is doing on this account. No, this account, sorry. This is H1M5. Not in it yet, but it will be. This will be in US dollar CAD shortly. Long. But if I'd have said that I'm going to use the daily, sorry, that's Euro CAD. I meant US dollar CAD. I just had a reversal alert. So if I'd have used the daily, I'd be looking at that thinking it's range bound. We're in the middle of a range. Don't take trades in the middle of a range. Take trades at extremes. So I won't trade that at the moment. And you could be sitting in this with this thing flying down or flying up for weeks, not taking trades because you've got three analysis points instead of 2. But there's no, it's just you don't really need. I don't think. I'm just trying to think if I've got a video on multi-time frame analysis, or whether it's part of the bootcamp. Yeah, there. Using multi-time frame analysis for direction and entries. There's a video on my MTF. And those are the recommendeds. So using trend bias on those time frames and then entry on these, because they are far enough apart that you will have enough movement within the trend on those to actually get an entry. If you use the 4 hour and the hourly for entry, for example, or the 30-minute, you'll find that by the time you get a signal, you're almost where you should have got out. So you need to get in with a smaller time frame, but it's all explained in that video. But there's no right or wrong, you know, it's whatever you want. When I first saw your video titled Position Trading, I thought it was a long-term trading. Perhaps you could consider using positions trading. Well, I don't know. I don't really want to change it because I'll have to redo all the videos and it took me weeks. I can't be asked. I'm at the stage in my trading career where I can't be asked. I've been trading for 15 years and I've seen it all. And anybody that comes to me with anything now, I can't be asked because I've found what works for me and I'm sticking with it. I can't be asked, basically, to look at anything else. Which is why, you know, people come to me with strategies like, yeah, that'll work, but you won't execute it properly. I'm very, you know, I'm not dismissive of people. I'm just very like, I've heard it all before type thing, just because I'm old. What EA do? So the market reverse alerts EA basically trades the strategies that are shown on the website here and taught in the bootcamp here. Yeah, the EA basically just automates everything, so you don't have to worry about it. That's why I only use 30-second chart. No more analysis per analysis. Yeah, if you're trading on the 30-second chart, you obviously don't have time to do any analysis, so you're trading chop. You're trading nuts. I mean, the 1 minute chart is just nuts. Yeah, look at the 1 minute chart on the DAX today. Yeah, how many signals you've had in here, right? It's just nuts. These like go short, go long, go short, go long, go short, go long, go short, go long, 3-bar reversal, go short, bearish engulfing, not get anywhere, outside bar, bull, break, go long, bearish engulfing. You just like, it's just too much. 30 seconds is just even stupider. And none of the indicators, there is no indicator works on the 1 minute chart because you're just trading algorithmic chop. You're trading orders, you're trading order flow. And if you're going to trade order flow, you need to trade futures. And if you're going to trade futures and order flow, you need a piece of software that gives you all that information. Candlesticks on low time frames are just crazy. Everybody makes money on them. Yeah, I've made an absolute fortune on M1, but you'll never sustain it. It's just not sustainable because you will at some point hit a squeeze. And you think a squeeze on M5 is hard. Can't we find a squeeze? Where would we find a squeeze on M5? Pound New Zealand. Yeah. If you took a long signal on the Pound New Zealand at any point in the last 2 days, you're squeezed to death. Your strategy fails because, and we went through this yesterday, didn't we? Market cycles, market conditions, bull volatile, bear volatile, that sort of stuff. Your strategy at some point will hit a failure level that will just blow it. And it's because you're trading algorithmic chop. And it's typically a news event that will do it. But you won't know which one until you've done it. And that's too late. Just to add, I prefer to do market orders. Yeah, use market orders. That's fine. I use market orders all the time. Nothing wrong with market orders. I'm just catching up what this is doing. It's not going anywhere, the market today, because obviously we're waiting for 3 o'clock. So the trades are playing out at the moment. Yeah, cool. You speak honest words. Yeah, I do. That's why this channel is not very popular, because people don't want to hear what it's like in the real world. They want to learn about how you make fortunes, double accounts within weeks, and earn yourself Lamborghinis within a month. But there's other channels that will show you how not to do that. I'm new to Forex, but what do you think of holding losing overnight positions and wait until it cancels itself out? Exactly what I do. Fwong, I can't say your name. I'm going to call you Fwong. I don't know if that's right or wrong. But what you've just said is exactly what I teach. It's position trading. So I get into trades. Let's find one. I get into trades. Let's find a decent one. Let's find an H4 one, because that will have multiples. Aussie, New Zealand. Where's Aussie, New Zealand? Aussie, New Zealand, there. Yeah, so I get into multiple positions. So position trading is about taking a view on the market. Yeah. And understanding the market mechanics and how the banks and institutions work. So buy these, sell these, but you will never, ever be able to get your entry correct. Yeah. Everybody in the world is trying to find the indicator, market reversal alerts, for example, that gives them that perfect entry all the time. It doesn't exist, because you're not in control of where this thing goes every day. Where it's going from here is a 50-50 shot. It's going to move up or down through time. That's the only constant you know in trading. Everything else is complete speculation. Yeah. I don't care what indicator you use. Your indicator is telling you what has happened in the past. Right? So if you're trying to get into the market with a signal or a system, it's going to be wrong probably more than 50% of the time. And when you are right, more than 50% of the time, it isn't going to go to the target that you wanted it to go to make you profit. That's why everybody loses money. So by removing your stop loss and holding your position until the market cycle completes, you will always be able to get a profit out of your trade. Position trading. This is how the banks operate. The banks buy currencies. Yeah. And they continue to buy currencies. Yeah. And at some point, they will sell those currencies, but they will only sell them when they're in profit. And this is why we have a thing called market structure. And this market structure is caused by the buying and selling cycles used in the banks. So what you do is you buy something that you think is going to go up at some time. And if it goes down, you buy it again, and you bring your average back to a level which is easily achievable to exit your position. And then you do the same thing, and you bring your average back to an executable position. You do the same thing, and you just wait, because the banks are also doing the same thing. If this is coming down, the banks are shorting the market. If the banks are shorting the market, they're building a massive profit amount in their portfolio. To get out of that position, the banks have to take the opposite direction. So if they've been selling for 2 days solid, the only way they can profit is by buying, exiting. Yeah. When you hit the sell button up here, you enter a sell market, which means somebody on the opposite side is a buyer. When you get down here in profit to exit your position, you press the close button. What's actually happening under the hood is you're entering a buy order and you're waiting for someone to sell to you. The banks have to do the same thing. So all you do is you scale into your position using a break-even average, and you wait. So I got in here, wrong. 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 Am I wrong? No. If this goes up by 11 pips, considering it does 60 pips a day on average, if this goes up by 11 pips, I just get out of the position and walk away and lose nothing. If you're using a stop profit, as we're now calling it, not a stop loss, what you'd have done is you'd have got long there, you could have got stopped out, you'd have got long there, you could have got stopped out, you'd have got long there, you could have got stopped out, you'd have got long there. You might still be in that one, but I'm not taking those losses just because the market is going against me temporarily while I'm waiting for the banks to do a profit take move. Yeah. And that's what generates the profit. I do take losses, yeah. Take losses on stuff. Yeah. I don't hold positions forever. That's ridiculous. You'll blow your account. But that's what's taught in the bootcamp. Holding position. You don't get out of a position just because it's going against you. What it means is if it's going against you, it means you've got your timing wrong. How can you time something that is completely random? Yeah, you can't. This thing has gone up today because the banks and institutions have bought a crap load of DAX stocks. Not one person in the world at that point of time in retail trading had any idea whether that would go up or down today at the open. What they knew was it would move at that time because it does every day, because that's when the stock market opens in Germany. But we had no idea whether that was going up or down. So place an order in both directions and you'll get a win. There's a strategy. This is called the opening range breakout EA. That's what this EA does. It takes money out of the market at the open. But no one knows what's happening, right? And we're going up right now. Where's this next candle going? So this candle here, we've got 2.5 minutes. Is that going to close bullish or bearish? I haven't got a clue. There is nobody on this planet that can tell you the answer to that. So why on earth would you try and predict it with an indicator? The odds are 50-50. Always will be. Every single candle has got a 50-50 chance of being bullish or bearish. Every now and again, you get one of those. That's like 0 on the roulette wheel. But 99% of the time, it's going to be one of those things. Yeah, you can't predict that. And everybody tries to buy indicators and search for strategies that can predict the future. It's pointless and ridiculous, and you just got to stop doing it. If you just get into the market, yeah, and get out when you're in profit, you will make money. If you get into the market and you put an order in the market to get out with a loss, you will get out with a loss. Take that out of your equation and you won't do it again. You won't lose again. Some of these positions, Aussie, New Zealand, I don't know when I got into it. Doesn't matter when I got into it. I got into the Aussie, New Zealand on the 27th of February. I'm still in it after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. All I need is that, and I'm out. Yeah. Look at how far this thing moves on a daily basis. Yeah. So this thing on a daily basis, from where we are right now, could go up to there with a 58% probability. I'm just in a trade. That's all I am. All I'm doing is I'm not getting in and getting out with a loss every day. I'm just getting in and getting out with a profit when the market lets me. And the market cycles will always go that way. Because if they don't, the banks can't make money. The largest institution in every country in the world is the bank. Which is why do you think we pay so much attention this afternoon? Why is this so important this afternoon? What's it called? Services PMI. 90% of that is made up of financial. Banks. Sorry. So yeah, anyway, there you go. So that's what I do. Yeah. So go and watch the bootcamp. You'll love it. It's on the website. God, I've never had so many comments. It's because we're not talking about trading. We're just talking about stuff. Hey, TMT, what sort of execution time do you have for the ORB EA to place orders after the range is set? There's lots of set files for the opening range breakout. So this one showing here is the pre-market 15, the 5, and that is also the 15, but the 5 and the 15 are the same because that's the 5-minute candle, that's the 10-minute candle, and that's the 15 candle. So this is what I call the pre-market trade. So you're basically taking the initial candle, which is the opening cash balance, not normally that big. On the pre-market, you look for usually a 1.5 R, and then break even, stop, and then take whatever it gives you if it gives it to you. But quite often what you'll find is the initial cash balance will do that, and then it will pull back. So you get one position in money. If there's a wide pre-market open, you'll quite often get a whipsaw and get killed. These little ones are great, but this could have easily whipsawed this morning as well. But it's all on the website, the opening range breakout strategy and the EA. There's a video, there's set files and backtest results for the EA. You know, it's all on, everything you need is on the website. It's up to you what set files you use. You know, it's a variable strategy. Would you recommend increasing lot size, position size once you had a few consistent months? So Michael, if you're position trading, you need to keep your lot sizing small because you don't know when the squeeze is coming. So if you're position trading, I would recommend 0.01 lot size per $1,000 in your account if you want to be aggressive. Again, that's all explained in the bootcamp. You increase your lot size only with your account balance, and you take entries based on percentage ADR. So the market reverse alerts EA will take 0.25% risk, yeah, on half an ADR movement. Yeah, so when it places an order, it goes, I'm going long. It will place a stop loss half an ADR apart, calculate the lot size to lose 1/4 of my account balance if price was to move back that distance, places it with the correct lot size, and then cancels the stop loss off. That's what it does. So this is auto-calculated. So if you have the EA, you don't need to even worry about lot size. It's all handled for you. But keep your lot size small, because you're going to go into drawdown. You're going to have positions which are going to go against you for 3 weeks, 5 weeks, all sorts of weeks. 75 people in here, is there? 68, blimey. Busy today, aren't we? Word's getting out. Hey, this bloke's making money. It seems like mine takes about 5 seconds or so to place orders. Oh, you're talking about execution time. Sorry. Right. If you'll get right, yeah, okay. I see what you mean, Franco. Fecco, sorry. Fecco. We've got a Franco in here as well. He's not here today. Right. If you've got late execution, so if the EA is taking too long to place your orders, that is down to your broker. Yeah. So if you're in a prop firm that uses 8cap, for example, as a broker, you will get huge delay on order placement, which is no good for this type of trading. Yeah, this is a breakout strategy. Sometimes the breakouts, as you can see, the breakouts are fast. Yeah, look at the DAX today. Yeah, your entry was 15-minute would have been there. So there's your high, right? That candle, yeah, if basically when that candle opens there, the EA will instantly place orders there and there. That is done as fast as your VPS or your broker allows, which is why I keep testing different prop firms, which is why I'm testing this Fidelcrest at the moment, because I'm not interested in them as a company unless they've got fast order execution. However, it doesn't matter with these guys because you can't use EAs, so they're irrelevant. But yeah, broker execution, that'll be. Some brokers are faster than others. Get any ECN connection. Your broker needs to have an ECN connection. Straight into the market, immediately placed. Fill the order later. Basically, what an ECN connection does, with 99% of brokers, an ECN connection means that they take the other side of your trade, and then they will farm your trade out depending on what their balance and portfolio looks like. So your broker is always trading against you until you start making money. When you start making money, they move you from what's called the A book to the B book, or the B book to the A book, depending which way they work. But they move you from one account set to another, because as soon as you start making money, they start losing money because they take the opposite side of your trade. 86 to 95% of traders lose money. Therefore, if you're a broker, it makes sense to take the other side of their trades, doesn't it? Because 90% of people lose 90% of their accounts in 90 days. So, or 60% in 60 days, whichever way you want to look at it. By offering low execution and things like that, that's one of the ways they will make money, because they will take the spread. If you place an order there and you get executed there, they've made that much because they've taken the other side of your trade. So that extra spread is bank for them, plus the commission, plus the initial spread. plus the swap if you hold it overnight. That's how they make money. Do you trade the NASDAQ or the S&P? I trade the NASDAQ in the afternoon. Don't trade the NASDAQ in the morning because it's shut. You're trading Globex. If you're trading the NASDAQ, if you trade any US indice in the morning, you're trading the Globex session. So it's just algorithmic. Yeah. Globex, New York Open. Yeah. This is where you trade US indices. This is where you trade European indices. Trade when the volume's there. The volume's not there in the mornings. It's sometimes, but it's this morning. It's not too bad, is it? But afternoon, I trade NASDAQ 220. What color is your Lambo? I haven't got one. I've had many Porsches. I haven't got one at the moment because some idiot crashed into it. But yeah, no, I haven't got a Lambo. The real world is not Lambos. The real world is making 10 to 15% a month if you're good. That's the real world. Consistent. I can make 100%. I can double an account, no problem. I won't be doing that very regularly, though, because you can't. Market doesn't allow it. What's your SP on Raja Wicks? Don't lie. I don't know him. His course I've never done. But as far as I know, it's kind of smart money-ish concepts. I don't know. I don't really know Raja. Don't know. I know people that have tried to follow him, and they're hopping around. So I guess they haven't found it. But it's whether it works for you. Try everything. Yeah. If it works for you, use it. If it doesn't, don't. That's all I've done all my career. I've basically hopped from system to strategy, indicator to indicator, mentor to mentor. None of them have made me money, but some of them have made me break even. So I took the bits that made me break even, put them together, and all of a sudden I became profitable. You got to do the same. So your mentality and your type of trading, you won't discover until you've been doing it for a while. Do you basically trade like how someone should invest in stocks? Yeah, similar, I guess. If you watch the Bloomberg channel, you will find a lot of large institutional traders, hedge fund managers, all those types of people get interviewed on those channels. Yeah. Analysts from the big 10 banks. Yeah. Lots of people that know what they're doing in this industry. You will hear the words dollar averaging or averaging in or taking a position coming out of their mouths all the time, because that's how they all trade, because they are all aware that no one in this market can predict the future, and no one has a bank balance big enough to guarantee a price movement. But they all know how the industry works and how underneath the hood the market is moving and why it's moving, why it does that and then that and that and that and that and that. They know why that happens. Yeah. So it becomes predictive when you know why it happens, because you know that the guys that have done that have got to do that, because unless they do that, they can't make money. And you know what their positioning is based on the speed of their movements. I know that for a fact the DAX is coming back down here either today or tomorrow. I can't tell you when. I can't predict the future, but I know where it's going. When you know that, because you understand the mechanics behind what drives it, you can start making money out of it. And there's no indicator that can tell you this. I have indicators that highlight the areas I know we're going, but I don't know when we're going there. But I do know that when there is a break in one direction using a market structure, that there is a likelihood this might be the point. So I'll get in. And if I'm wrong, I'll wait for the next time it looks like the market is starting to move my way, because I know they've all got to come back down here because they did that. Yeah. So you just have to time the market multiple times. And that's what they call averaging in, taking a position. Yeah. If I go long here and I've got the entry wrong, that's fine. I'll go long here and wait for them to give me the exit. If I go long here and miss my exit, I'll go long here and wait for the next exit. It's like buses. Market structure is like a bus stop. Yeah. If you miss the first one, doesn't matter, get the second one. If you miss the second, doesn't matter, get the third one. If the fourth one doesn't turn up, get the fifth one. But don't get run over every time you miss the bus. That's what everybody does. That's the light bulb moment that people get out the boot camp. When they stop the stop, they suddenly make money. Everybody, literally everybody makes money. You can't not make money if you stop using a stop loss, because at some point that market will come back in your direction. You just got to be patient. Unfortunately, the Amazon culture these days means I want to order it this morning and have it delivered this afternoon. I want to place a trade now and I want you to go to my TP. Unfortunately, it doesn't do that. But surely there's an indicator out there that will do it. No, not that I've found anyway. Let's have some likes. Yeah, let's hit the like button. I never ask for likes. I don't care. Welcome aboard, Saeed. Welcome aboard. Oh God, loads of people have joined. Look, Hi-Fi Trade. Somebody in Chinese. I can't read. Murajon. Welcome aboard. If I've got your names right. Not used to all these likes. So many people go in Burger King and ask the business owner, what's your view on McDonald's? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like going and asking the person that owns Pepsi Cola, what do you think of Coca-Cola? Well, I hate them. I don't hate anybody. I don't care. Anybody. Dominion Markets, that's Raja Banks' company, isn't it? He's a scalper on the 30 minutes, yeah. Ask yourself this question, right? If somebody has a YouTube channel with loads and loads of people following it, right, and does live streams where there's thousands of people in there, yeah, and they offer a paid course or they own a brokerage, what do you think their reason for being on that channel is, right? Why does Greg Secker appear on your YouTube and your Facebook constantly? Because he sells software and education. Does he ever live stream trades? Yeah, regularly, and show you what he's doing? If they do, follow them. If they don't, just run away, because they're selling the same thing in a different format. That's all they do. Yeah, I come in here every day and I show you the same thing, and I have been doing it for years. I show you the same thing over and over and over and over again. Because it works and it makes money. But I don't make money out of indicators. I wish I did. It'd be lovely to be able to sit on the beach and just have money pouring in. When will you start doing the bootcamp training sessions? So basically the bootcamp, I'm looking to make it live. So I'm going to, it's on my list to do. I just haven't got around to it. So what I'm planning to do is take the bootcamp and take all the sections of the bootcamp and break them down into manageable half-an-hour slots. And then basically every day, I've been sitting here chatting away for an hour or whatever. Spend this time actually delivering the course. So do a session on support resistance, do a session on elastic band theory, do a session on multi-time frame analysis, go through the indicators, why they are there, what they do, why they work, all that sort of stuff. So just do it in an orderly manner so that it's scheduled. So it is on my list. I just haven't got around to it yet. I've got to get the PDF and I've got to break it down into manageable sections. Because each of these videos is different. I mean, that one's 1 hour 46. That one's an hour. That one's 2.5 hours. That one's 2 hours. That one's 2 and a bit hours. So, you know, there's 10 hours of education in these 5 videos. I've got to figure out a way to cut it into something that's deliverable. And obviously, because I do 2 live rooms a day, I have to have time for analysis as well. So today is a fairly quick one, isn't it? Because there's no ADRs. If this was lit up like a Christmas tree, we'd be sitting here for 20 minutes doing analysis. This morning, there's nothing. Very little. Euro Swiss got more extended, look. Just had a reverse alert on that on M5. Perfect W. Yeah, you know, things like this. This is all covered in the bootcamp, the W. That's what the indicator's showing. You know, things like this. This is the stuff I want to cover. Why does this do this? And what does that arrow mean? Yeah, it's the bull's taking control at the moment. Straight into massive bear sell. But you know, it's covering what this is, why this is doing this, and that sort of thing. Just orderly so that everyone can understand it, really, rather than me just waffling. Which is what I tend to do most days, isn't it? How do you pass my Forex funds? By trading. What to do and don't. Don't blow the account. Don't go over 5% loss. Make sure you've got a strategy that can make you a profit. There's no answer to that, Yaman. Honestly, there's no answer to it. But what I would say is there's two ways to pass prop, right? This is a prop account. This is an evaluation I'm doing at the moment, right? So you either go for it and try and pass it fast with high leverage. I'm using 0.5% per trade. To me, that is high leverage. You could go in with 1% if you want to. But the way you pass a prop evaluation is by being lucky. So when you hit the buy button, yeah, if it goes up when you hit the buy button and you're lucky enough for the market to agree with you, you will pass your evaluation. If you hit the buy button and the market doesn't agree with you, you will fail your evaluation. That's the realistic view of how you pass an evaluation. The prop firms know that, which is why they charge $500 for a demo account, which is basically what you're doing when you're trying to pass prop. You're paying for a demo account. At the end of that evaluation period one, if you've been lucky enough when you hit the buy button for the market to go in your direction with your over-leveraged trade, and you've done 5 of them in a row and passed, you then have to do the same thing again and be lucky for another week. If you're lucky enough to pass after the second week by being lucky in the market going in your direction, you'll then be given another demo account, which they will tell you is a funded account, and that one you will blow because you've been really lucky for 2 weeks, and at some point that luck is going to fail. And then you go back to square one, you pay another $500. It may sound sarcastic, but I'm pretty sure there's 60 odd people in this room who can tell you exactly the same thing. That's what happens. If you really want to pass evaluation, what you need to do is exactly what I just said. Over leverage, get lucky. So if you've got a strategy with a 50% strike rate, you need to hope that the 50% of the trades that are the winners are the ones you take during the evaluation. When you pass, you go back to square one and you reduce your risk right the way down. Because now you need to make sure that you don't hit that 5K daily drawdown limit, because that's what kills everybody, is the 5K daily. The 10K month, I'm basing all this on 100K accounts because they're the only ones I trade. But the 10Kers are the ones that the overall drawdowns are the ones that you don't really need to worry about, because 9 times out of 10 you'll be risking 1% on a trade, and if you get 5 trades wrong in a day, you've blown it anyway. So the other way you will blow it is if you get 5 trades wrong twice in a day, you'll hit the 10K, but that's going to hit your daily 5 anyway, isn't it? So it doesn't matter. Yeah, that's the real world in prop. The other way you can pass it is by using the market reversal alerts EA. So, you know, this is the ADR set file here. This has done 8% this week. Drawdown hasn't gone over 2.5%. Yeah. 8% is your profit target on a evaluation. Yeah. Hasn't hit 5%. Passed. That's this week. What's going to happen next week? Do you get the point? Yeah. I can tell you that we've done 16% in the last 3 weeks. 8% of it was done this week. I can't tell you what's going to happen next week because I haven't got a crystal ball. So you can use the market reverse alerts EA this week to pass. Next week, hopefully you can pass with it as well. If you do, carry on using the market reverse alerts EA using the ADR reversal step file. Reduce your risk. I don't know if it will pass or not because it depends on the market conditions, doesn't it? Like I said, when you take a trade, you get on a steam train and it's going that way, right? If you want to get off at that station, it may fly through it. It may not get to it. What that train does when you're on it is out of your control. The only person that controls that train is the driver. There's 10 banks in the world that control the Forex market. You're not in them. So you have to accept the fact that when you take a buy or a sell, it's going to do that or it's going to do that. And you have no choice over what happens next. So when someone says, how do you pass an evaluation in a prop firm? You get in and hope. And that's it. You take a strategy, you take a trade with a strategy, but the best strategies in the world usually will have somewhere in the region, if they're a trend, of a 30 to 40% strike rate, if they're mean reversion, somewhere around a 70% strike rate. If you happen to hit 5 of losing trades in a row on a 70% strike rate strategy, you blow the account. Doesn't matter what the strike rate of the strategy is, it will have 10 losing trades in a row at some point in the future, and you will blow an account. There's nothing you can do about it. Why do you think the prop firms have a 5% daily drawdown and a 10% or 12% daily loss, overall loss limit? Because they know for a fact no trader in the world is going to be able to stay within those bounds. You can't. I can't. Warren Buffett can't. No one can. You're going to get losers. You're going to get losing runs, and those losing runs are going to blow it. You just got to be lucky. So what you do is you take 10 evaluations, you pass 3. One of those evaluations you go to live will make you 5 or 10 or 15 grand. You use that as profit. That's the way to do it. That's the way I do it anyway. Every day I see WB trading ad just below YouTube. Yeah, well, every day you'll see some ad. Who have we got today? London Academy of Trading. Yeah. Every time we go somewhere, we'll get something different. Nirav. Love him. See, Nirav. I love Nirav. Yeah, he tells you not to use candlestick charts. He says he works for Barclays. He used to work for Barclays. Which is fine, he might have done. Right? Don't use candlestick charts. They're rubbish. They don't work. Retail candlestick charts are the reason you're losing money. Use my candlestick charts and you will make money because my candlestick charts show you where the money was within the candlestick charts. Whether that is a bullish candlestick has got nothing to do with what the next candlestick is going to be, Nirav. Whether that is a bullish... Oh. Anyway, you get the point. What do you think about gold with no daily bottom wick? Sorry, did you say John Wick? Gold? No bottom daily wick. I don't know what you mean. What do you think about gold with no bottom daily wick? With no daily bottom wick? I don't know what you mean. Gold basically is a US dollar cross. So this afternoon at 3 o'clock, if we get positive PMI, gold's going down. If we get negative PMI, it's going up. I don't know what happened yesterday. Doesn't have anything to do with today on a short-term basis. If you analyze the charts, yeah, and look at, for example, a bearish engulfing, Yeah. Everybody thinks a bearish engulfing is a bearish pattern. Yeah. That wasn't bearish. That wasn't bearish. That wasn't bearish. That one was. That one was. That one was. Yeah. 3 for 3. And that one was 4 for 3. Yeah. So what happened yesterday, because we got a bearish engulfing, doesn't mean today won't be bullish. If today we get a candlestick with no wick on the bottom that finishes green, what has that got to do with what's going to happen the next day when the services PMI figures come out? Nothing. The DAX yesterday, this is a brilliant example. The DAX yesterday was a big bullish candle, which did a gap fill. What's that got to do with today? It's gone up today. Lots of people go, well, it's gone up today because it was a green candle. Did you think that then as well? Yeah, it's gone up today. No, it's not. It's going down. Doesn't matter what happened yesterday. What happens today is irrelevant. Is just what's going to happen today. So you can use analysis, historical analysis, and this is the point I keep making. Every indicator tells you what has happened back here. Every moving average tells you what we've been doing for the last 24 days in this case. Every daily candlestick tells me what happened yesterday. What the banks have got to execute this morning because the orders came in overnight from Asia has got nothing to do with what happens in yesterday's order book. Totally different. So therefore, you can't predict price. What we do know is that when there's been a strong move in one direction, we tend to get a profit take move in the opposite. That's the only thing that really makes logical sense in the markets. Once you've bought something, you need to sell it. When you understand that, you only need one indicator. And it doesn't have to be the RSI, it could be anything. But you need an oscillator to tell you condition, and then you need a signal indicator to tell you when to enter. That's it. Simple. Neerav is a DJ. He's a DJ, is he? Really? I didn't know that. There you go, he's got a side racket going. Which is the side racket, the DJing or the trading education? One of them is. Good man, I like DJs. I mean, a bit of music. 0.5% from the account or from the limited drawdown. They said 12% drawdown. Are you talking about a prop fund? Yeah. So if you've got a prop fund that's got 12% max drawdown, then that's fine. Yeah, my Forex funds, you know, I trade with my Forex funds and I trade with E8. They're my main two. So, you know, your evaluation, your drawdown, overall drawdown on a 100K account is 12. So it's 12%. Yeah. And your daily is 5%. So you take 10 of those, you spend 5K. If we take 10 of those, you probably get 3 of them over the line, profitable. And of those 3, hopefully 2 of them you can trade up to 10K, withdraw that 10K, make 5K, repeat the process. Keep doing that and you'll keep making money with prop firms. This is what we covered yesterday. Everyone's trying to go, I'm going to spend $400, $500, and I'm going to get 100,000, and I'm going to keep that 100,000. I'm just going to keep making 10% a month. You won't, because your strategy won't allow you to, because your strategy will have a failure rate, and it will blow your account. In his past life, he was a DJ, was he? All right. Everybody can have more than one job, can work in Barclays and be a DJ. That is allowed. So buy any US dollar related if PMI is positive. No, not necessarily, because when the PMI figures come out, you probably won't have time to react. If you need to be in the market already, yeah. So if you think we're going to get positive PMI figures, get in now, get your position in profit, get a break even in, and then hope they pump it. If they dump it, you don't lose money. If the PMI figures come out positive and it does that, you've missed it. All the positions that I'm in at the moment, yeah, these ones that I'm in here, I'm in one US dollar, New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So my US dollar exposure is short at the moment, right? So I'm hoping the PMI figures right now come out negative. But whatever happens, you need to be in it before the move, or you can straddle it. If you straddle it, basically you can get gathered in to the move when it happens, but you'll probably get slipped, and there is a massive danger of getting whipsawed in the first couple of minutes and then it going your direction, and all you do is you get stopped out. It's difficult to trade. So however, if the PMI figures come out as positive, that does not mean the US dollar from now on is just going to do that at all. What the other currencies do will determine what the US dollar does. If the yen has an intervention, the US dollar yen is coming down. It doesn't matter what that figure is, the US dollar will come down against the yen because there's two currencies involved, isn't there? Yeah, if you get positive news on the US dollar and positive news on the CAD within the same day, and the CAD's positive news makes the CAD stronger, US dollar CAD comes down, even though it has positive news. It will do that. Yeah. Can you control that? Can you predict that? Then stop. Stop trying to do it. Just get in. Get in and accept it. Yeah. My exposure on the US dollar at the moment is short using ADR reversals. If the US dollar goes up on Euro US dollar, what will I do? Add another position. And if it continues to go up, what will I do? Add another position. Because if it continues to go up strongly like that, I know that the banks will take profit and I'll get out. Well, the EA will get me out. You know, I won't get out. But if you use a stop loss, obviously you will get out with a loss or a profit. You know, if you get in right, and your TP will get you out. Look at the TP, for example. On the, this is why I'm going to start using the terminology stop profit. Right, TP on this trade is 1.5 hour on the set file that I use. Right, so my TP was here. Right, we call it a TP. What was it? It was an order in the market that stopped my profit. Because if I hadn't have used that stop profit order, I'd have made that much. But my TP stopped the profit. That one will stop the profit by taking a loss on my account. So if you use either of those, all you're doing is you're stopping yourself making money. It's crazy, isn't it? I don't know why we do it. Nuts. Because we're taught, basically, by the brokers, because the brokers make money every time we place an order. So the more orders we place, the more money they make. Just maths. So targeting half an ADR, I'm finding I'm leaving one ADR plus on most trades. Then increase your target to 3/4 of an ADR, Michael. I do as well. You know, look at. Let's look at a trade. Let's look at a trade in the last week. Oh. Last week. Aussie dollar CAD. Oh, that's a good one. There's loads of trades on that. Aussie dollar CAD. Yeah. I got out there and it went up to there, pulled back and went up to there. Yeah. So I got out with third of an ADR. So you could have got, what's the ADR on this? 65. Another half an ADR, another quarter of an ADR there. So I got out with a third of an ADR. That's another half an ADR. That's 50, which is nearly an ADR. So I could have got obviously more than twice the profit on it. But what could have happened is when it pulled back there, it could have done that, couldn't it? So the reason I take profit there is because I personally want this thing green as possible every day. I don't care too much about the amount. What I care about is not losing money and not going into big drawdown and making regular profit that I can extract and pay my mortgage. Yeah. So if you go for larger targets, what you will find is the number of positions you enter will be larger, your drawdown will be larger, and the time taken to execute and complete a cycle will be longer. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with going for bigger targets. But look at this one. Third of an ADR. In, out, done, thank you very much. Third of an ADR. In, out, done, thank you very much. The reason I use a third of an ADR is because I know that 58% of the time we stay within this range. So the odds of when we get extended, it pulling back a third of its daily range is very, very high. The chances of it pulling back 3/4 of its daily range is lower than that. I'd rather be in and out and banking than be, for example, in, not taking profit, having to take a second, average there, profit would have been there. So those two trades that took less than half a day to play out, if I'd have used 3/4, they'd have taken 2 days. And I'd have only got one trade. So I'd have had one 0.3 ADR profit. Here I got two 0.3 ADR profits. Twice as much money by getting out faster. What I don't want is to squeeze. I do not want to be stuck in a nasty, nasty, nasty banking squeeze. I want to be out of these trades fast. Because these are profit takes, yeah? The direction is irrelevant. Whether this is going to go that way or that way long term, I've no idea and is irrelevant, isn't it? What I do know is when the banks are hugely short, they can only do one thing, make money, which means they're going to pull back. How far they're going to pull back, I don't know. I know they are going to pull back some distance. So I'm going to take a little bit, not a lot. If you go for a lot, you'll find it more difficult. In and out, done. Quarter of an ADR to half an ADR on an ADR reversal is the maximum I would ever go for. Yes, you will get A-shaped recoveries. We will get a move to 150 ADR, and then we'll get what's called an A-shaped recovery. Look at the New Zealand dollar, yeah? Pound New Zealand, absolutely prime example of that happening this week. ADR, A-shaped recovery. A-shaped recovery. Not so much. Yeah, but look at this. ADR is 185. 289. Look at my entries. Out. Next day. Look at my entries. That's an ADR move to the downside. 185. In, out. Missed it all. Do I care? No. I made 0.8% profit on my account. Look at the ADR here. That wasn't. That was 200. Then we got next day 160. So that wasn't an ADR. So you'd have entered there. You'd have entered there. You'd have exited somewhere around there. Missed it all. I didn't actually. I had another trade on that on prop, which that wasn't an ADR reversal though. It was a different trade. But you see what I mean? You can always get that. But if the market is going to do that, wouldn't you rather get that and be right 100% of the time than try and get that and be right 30% of the time? I'd much rather be right virtually 100% of the time than have to worry about whether or not I'm going to lose 70% of my trades. And the only way you do that is by getting in and out fast. And don't get greedy. But it's up to you. You know, everybody's different. That's why I structured the bootcamp flexibly. You know, there's lots of different ways to do this. I think build your own account with a 4% target per week. It usually whips to a 4-hour level and retraces. Yeah, exactly. If you could bank 0.5% a day, this is an exceptional week. This is not the norm. That's more the norm. Yeah, 3.5%. Yeah, if you can bank 0.5% a day, that's 2.5% a week. That's 10% a month. If you've got a 100K account, you're earning 10,000. Yeah, you're earning 120K a year. Do you think you could achieve a 5.5, less than 1% increase on your account a day using a strategy that doesn't use a stop loss to mean that you lose money? Of course you can. It's easy. I've done 3.4 this week. That's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15%. Yeah, that's 15K. 15K times 12. Start doing the maths. It's not hard before, it's not difficult to earn £250,000 a year if you've got the capital, but that's the problem. And no one's got the capital, and everybody goes, hey, I can get you a Lamborghini by compounding your account. No, you can't. You've got to go and get capital from somewhere. World King Top, hi. You're late. I'm just about to stop. It's 10 to 12. I've got to go. 10 to 11. I've got to go because I've got a meeting at 11 with someone, or a phone call with someone at 11. Yeah, I'll have to leave it there. I'll be back at 2:20 this afternoon. Compounding is king. It is king if you can do it, but I've never met anyone in the world that can do it. And all the courses that teach you how to compound are lies. Try them. Even the guys that sell, there's a guy at the moment called, just before I go, is it Sean? Bald guy. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it is. Mission FX, isn't it? I think his name's Sean. He sells a compounding course. And in that compounding course, or in the advert for that compounding course, he tells you you're going to blow your account. Not great, is it? Not a great advert. And in his groups and his advertising, he regularly says, you're going to blow accounts. Nick Sean, that's it. I knew it was Sean. Nick Sean, yeah. Nothing, I mean, he's a really good trader, he's a support resistance trader. Spot on, exactly what I do, support resistance. But he uses obviously stop losses. Actually, he doesn't. He also hedges. He's got a very similar mindset to me. He doesn't use stop losses most of the time. He's worth listening to. But he tells you you're going to blow accounts. Compounding only works for a period of time. So if you can compound an account from 1,000 to 2,000, double it, that will take you, if you're lucky and you compound it, because if you're not lucky, you will blow it, guaranteed. If you can compound it around about 3 to 5 times from 1,000, you will get up to a level where you can start position trading with money. I don't think I will ever meet anybody that can compound an account for 5 times, because you've got to have a run of luck so hot that you don't blow it. Because to compound, you've got to risk 10% plus per trade. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It takes too long. You can compound with 1%. How long is it going to take you to do 100 trades? If you're taking decent trades on the hourly or the 4 hourly, probably 6 to 12 months. Yeah. So are you happy to become a professional trader with a 100K account in 5 years? Because that's how long it's going to take with realistic compounding. No one tells you all this. They teach you how to do it. No one does the maths on how long it's going to take. If you want to compound fast, you've got to risk 10%. If you're going to risk 10%, you've got to be bloody lucky. Haven't you? Really? And that's why Nick says in his adverts, you're going to blow accounts. But the idea is the same as I do with prop. You do it, you take that money, you do it again, you take that money, you do that money and you blow it. As long as you've taken more out than you are blowing, that's fine. But then your compounding stops and resets. That's the thing that people miss. Yeah? You've got to compound an account for 5, 6 or 7 times before you get to a level where you can start trading with proper money. That's like going into a casino and getting red or black right 7 times on the trot. Yeah, you'll do it maybe once or twice a year. Yeah. So compounding does work. I totally agree. But try it. Try it on a demo account. So go out and get me a 10 grand demo account, come back with 100 grand within a month. Show me it. You just won't do it. You will blow it. So hard. So you should use a stop loss always. If you're compounding, you have to. You don't have to, no, but if you don't use one, you're going to get a margin call and they're going to shut your trades anyway. So, you know, you can hedge in the prop firm. Yeah, you can do hedging, obviously. Nick does hedging, I think, doesn't he? I don't know. I don't follow him a lot, but all of a sudden, you know, it's like I see his adverts now. All of a sudden, they're coming up. It's weird. People, I go through cycles. All of a sudden, these people come up, and then they never stop coming up. And it's probably because I've sat there and I've watched a video and I've gone, all right, not seen him before. I go and check him out, and then obviously that's it. You're my target. So I've watched some of his videos, and I like him. I like his style. He's really good. But he's an influencer, isn't he? He's a young guy, and I don't know if he's making money or not. But you got to pay $200 or $300 to join his group to find out, haven't you? And that's not what I do. But I'd be interested if anybody's in his group. It would be interesting to know. Stick to 4%, but increase your lot gradually. Yeah, 4%, but 4% of trade is going to take you a long time to compound. If you want to compound an account properly, you want to be going in with 10 to 20% risk of trade. Yeah, you get a 3 to 1 R on a 10%. You have done a 40% increase on your account. You do that twice. It's not hard to get 2 lucky trades, is it? You do that twice. Yeah, look at my P&L. Win, 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 win. Win. 4 trades in a row. If I was risking 10% on each of those, I've doubled my account. Look at these last 2. Lose, lose. I'm 20% down. But I only need 1 trade to get back to 10% up. That's how you compound. If you're using 4% risk, your compounding is going to take you a long time. More difficult. So we'll try it. I mean, I'm quite happy to try it. I'll try compounding it. I know I'll fail because I've tried it. I've done it. I've been around a long time. I've tried everything. I've done everything. Martingale. Compounding with martingale. You can do that. No problem at all. You cannot do it for long, but you can. All it takes is luck. Yeah. Every time you hit the button, that's your odds. Yeah. Everyone can walk into a casino and get it right 4 times on red or black. Risk 25% of your account on a 1-to-1, bang, compounded, done. Are you going to be able to replicate that month after month? No. But to get an account up, fine. But only do that if you can risk your account. If you want to compound $1,000 up to 10, you've got to make sure that you've got another 9 in the back. Because when you blow that first 1,000, what are you doing now? Have you got another 1,000? If not, you're out of the game. You're out of business. Yeah. This is your capital, your business capital. You do not risk 25% of your business capital on 1 customer. You can only get 4 customers. If those 4 customers don't buy from you, you're out of business. You're bankrupt. What's the proper leverage? Whatever you want, doesn't matter. Your hand phone listen to you. Your what? Then sends you advertisements based on what you talked about. Oh God, yeah, I know. I've had that. I don't know how it works, but I've had it. I've been talking to my wife about something, and then our Facebook advert turns up, and I'm like, hang on a minute, I haven't emailed you about this. How do they know? Big Brother is listening. I've got to go. Right, I'll be back this afternoon at 2:20, same time for the New York session. Good luck this morning if you're trading, and I'll be back at 2:20. We'll trade the NASDAQ and the Dow and the DAX. The NASDAQ and the Dow, sorry. And then back tomorrow morning, Monday morning at 7:50, same time for this session for the DAX. Okay, so hopefully you have a good day. I'll be back this afternoon. Hopefully see you then. If not, see you on Monday. And yeah, good luck. I'll see you later.